Hey there, Carla. Hi, GB. You're number 2. I haven't seen you in a few days. Hi, Mocha. Hi, Veronica. Hi, C-May. Hi, KS Sunflower. Sorry I'm on late. I had, hey, whisper to me, Zoom problems. Hey, Chris. Hey, Evie. Hey, Devon the Move. Pat L. Hi, Alicia. Did you guys hear the Rosenbaum verdict, all of it? Sentencing. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Margie. Hi, Connie. Jessica. Lisa H. Laura. Short Nice. Hi. You didn't hear it, Carla? Okay. You heard it. Okay. Hey, Sharon. I had Zoom problems. That's why I'm on late. My Zoom, I had to just end up restarting everything. The judge did a great job, Kimberly. Okay, so, hey, Al Jackson. Hey, Welllife. Hi, Teresa Fisher. Hey, Joe Glover. Hey, Sakura Girl. So, Rosenbaum verdict, right? She's guilty of felony murder. He's guilty of second-degree murder. And then there were many others. She was guilty on like every other count except there was a couple she wasn't. He was guilty on most of them. There was a few that he wasn't, but yeah. The prosecution then went up at the sentencing and recommended for her life in prison without parole. And then who were all those people crying? Are those all of her, hey Robbie, are those all of her, she was a foster child, right? Wasn't she? Everybody, there's hardly anybody in the courtroom. They're all sitting like in different rows and they're all crying. Hey, Temporary Change. Hi, Carol Clark. Hey, Sassy Darcy. I got your picture, Sassy, but by the time I got it, I have to get the video out tomorrow. So I had to go swimming and a bunch of things. Hi, Julie T. Hi, Manager 3 Monsters. Hi, Graciela. Hi, Lisa H. Hi, Sandy L. Randy S. Who else did I miss? Anybody there? Okay. Uh-oh, what happened to Manager 3 Monsters? Oh my gosh, you have kidney stones too, Manager? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Amber just had emergency surgery on hers. They had to break them up with ultrasound and flush them out. And she was really, really sick with them. What's going on with the kidney stones? Sorry to hear that. Hey, Scarlet Rain. Hope you feel better. Did they do something for you at least? You didn't hear without parole, but she has 40 years past her life sentence, saying not concurrent. That was the recommendation that the prosecution gave. Ouchie. Hey, Angela Callie. Hey, Hennessy. There might have been, did they do some more stuff after the prosecution recommended the sentencing? Hey, Jen. Oh, Sandra, your hamster? She only bit you one time? It felt like, what did you say it felt like? Don't tell me what you said. You said it felt like, you said it didn't hurt. Didn't break the skin. It kind of felt like, oh, back scratching. Is that what you said? See, I listen. I do listen. Did you say back scratching? The victim impact statements. Oh, did they do those? See, I don't know. I got into another case after that, and I'll explain that in a minute. Hey, Ashley. Yes, like back scratching, see? Hey Jennifer, you're not late, we just started. Hey Kimberly. Hi Kelly Finelli. Hi, Sonia. Okay, so Amber, she is doing much better. She had surgery last night for kidney stones they had that were just so bad, so they had to break them up with ultrasound and flush them out. Definitely the family blamed. You mean Jennifer, right? You're saying Tessie? I don't know. They sentenced them and impact statements. I must have missed the impact statements. When was that? I mean, I was watching at like 9:30. There was nothing other than what happened. When did those come on? I'm really confused. Hi, Sunny Bunny. The judge told the D. Birth mother is Tess. Oh, Tess. Okay. Hey, Catherine. Joseph's father's really messed up. Okay, well, somebody said something about the Amato case last night. Ouch. And so he sentenced them right after the verdict? Okay, wait a second. I am so confused because... Are you confused too? Good RC Breeze, because I'm really confused too. Hi, June. Kimberly Miller says, yeah. Laura says, hello. Hi, Laura. Mrs. Roger Rabbit, hi. I don't know who did what, but I actually got a notice. Oh, did you? You'll have a Biscoff? Oh, you see them over there? Yeah. I have a bunch of mail to go. There's some more happy mail. Victoria, I got your happy mail. I should be able to open that tomorrow. Do I have... what else do I have? Oh, I have to get the unicorn stuff. I've got so much to do. It was all very quick. Well, I didn't... Okay, here's what I saw. I saw the verdict. I was watching on 11 Alive. I don't know what you were watching on. Cowgirl told me the verdict was in. But I had just got in from swimming, and then we had dinner, and then was running around. So, actually can't. You're trying to quit sugar. Okay, Robin. It's all right. Hi, Bethany. How are you? Hey there. Who did we just get in here? Robin, Gina, Ashley, whoever. Let's say I missed here. Let's see. Nana Jules. Hi. So, hey, Two Scooter. I was really confused because when I was watching that, you're watching on Long Crime. Well, I happen to watch 11 Alive tonight. I do watch Long Crime too. See me, hi. Mary, hi, Cowgirl. So I was just talking about you, Cowgirl. Yeah, hi, Miss Coelho. So Cowgirl said the verdict was in. It was like an hour. I was still in my wet bathing suit, which, I was just, it's a nutty day, okay, right? Right, we just went over that, Tessa, but we're trying to figure out where some of us missed some other things that went on there. Happy you made it live too, Bethany. So I go to check it out, and first I asked a couple of people, like, what's going on, and then they're like, I don't know, so I go check it out, and I listened to the verdict, and then as I got through the verdict, I was late, remember? I see somebody posted up, hey, the sentencing video just dropped or something. So I went to the sentencing video. And what was the sentencing video? Oh yeah, the beautiful flowers, right? Hi, Barbara. After the verdict, they had impact statements. See, I missed them. I missed the impact statements. They said, we had and when I went to the sentencing video, it said prosecution, something like makes recommendations for the sentencing. And I saw that, but they weren't sentenced. The prosecution just went up there and made the recommendations. That's the last thing I saw on that. I looked in their playlist, there was nothing else. So I missed stuff. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that. They got their sentence. Okay. What did he get sentenced to? The state calculated 780 years for her. It all ran together. Jen, what did he get? You missed it too, R.C. Breeze. The judge got kind of upset. Does anybody want to come on here and talk about it so we don't have to read it in like little bits and pieces? Anybody want to call in and let us know what happened that did see it all? He got 50 years? Julie T, where'd you have a great time tonight? With Lisa H. You guys live near each other or you went somewhere else? Life and serve 30, 20 on probation. Oh, Angel Kelly wants to call in? Okay. Cowgirl, I was watching it on 11 Alive. That's where I watched it. And I missed so much of it. Now I'm here like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I missed it. Oh, you went over there. Okay. Good for you. Was Casbot on with her? Let me see. When was that? What time was that? Today? Lisa's always loopy and funny, right? Okay, where's the, what am I looking for? The invite for Callie. Okay. Hey there, Lacey. Hey, Brenda. Jennifer got life plus 50. Okay. Let's see here. So, Angel, Callie. I'm going to... Oh, you sent your craft products? Oh, your craft products. Wow. Okay, so your mom only put on one thingy, and it looks like you said you didn't find the right bottles, but that looks like the right bottle, isn't it? I'll tell you some tricks about this, and Mama Ames is probably going to agree with me. I kind of said it last night. I'm just putting this in a reply to your email. Hold on. Okay. What is this? Okay, Jackie, I got your email. That's a lot to read, so I'll read it later. But I just want you to know that I did get it. And then I see that, Jennifer, you sent me a thing on the Rosenbaum. Okay. I did see the verdict. It's the stuff after it that I missed. And I don't know how. Hold on, let me get back in the chat. You listened while I was at work today, so I missed some things, but I noticed they took little breaks. Wait, which one are you talking about, Jen? You're talking it. What time was the verdict in? Should comments on your blog appear right away? I tried twice. Pencilla, if they're held for review, if you put a link or anything, sometimes they think you put a hashtag in there and they hold it for review. Which blog post was it? And so then it'll be in review and you wouldn't see it right away. You saw them get cuffed? Oh, okay. I didn't see that. You saw them. Okay. You thought the judge got misty? inability to recognize Layla's family's pain. 11 Alive is all I watched. There are also 11 Alive interview Tessa outside. Okay, what time was the verdict in? That's what I want to know. You're scared about surgery, went so bad last time. You had surgery for kidney stones already, manager? Well, prayers everything's okay for you. That's terrible. The verdict was in 8 hours. Okay. Around 6. All right, well, Cowgirl told me at 8:30 or something. That's when I started watching it, and there was no... hey, J Bells. Joseph's dad was hard to listen to. I missed that. Cowgirl, I'm going to have to rewatch it. I didn't see any of that. I was watching it like 9:30 and didn't see any of that. Why wouldn't it be in the playlist? 11 Alive is not so good then. I don't... You know what they brought me to after I finished the verdict and the sentencing? They brought me back to someone that was on the stand. Why would it do that? Hi Bergstrong. Hi, Katie. Texas woman, hello. They posted the video 7 hours ago. No way. Come on, really? That would be 4 o'clock. No, what time is it now? It's not 11. What time is it? 1? So you said 7 hours? Yeah, so around, okay, 6. Cowgirl told me at 8:30 and I still couldn't find it. Yeah, sure, you can email them to me or send them. Yeah, it's best if you could email, or you can text them. Or you can email them. It doesn't matter, whichever one is easier. It didn't bring me there. I'm pretty upset now. So anyway, what I started doing when it wouldn't bring me there, what did they get? Well, Angel Callie's coming on to tell us. Angel, did you get the number? Okie dokie. But I started, in the meantime, watching now. They said 8 hours ago, Randy? Okay. I was swimming then, so you found it through Google search. Okay. His dad was upset that his son wouldn't be cared for properly in prison. Really? Did he say that? His son wouldn't be cared for properly? What did they... I don't know. He looks very young. How old are they? I wish they would have showed their faces. Oh, and Cowgirl, did you ever get my message? Do you know what he was mouthing to her? Did you read his lips? He begged for leniency. The father did? His mom said he would die in prison. Oh, he has cystic fibrosis? Oh, I didn't know he has cystic fibrosis. And he has multiple sclerosis? Oh. Tessa and Aunt gave interview and she showed her tattoo of Layla on her arm. And diabetes. Jennifer got life plus 40 years. Joseph got 30 plus 20. How old is he? Not MS. Cystic fibrosis, okay. I gave her the number. She didn't get it? I gave it to you in a reply. I'll do it again on your other one, okay? It's going to be on a reply to the picture you just sent me. Okay. The defense, Miss Mo, asked judge for bond while they appeal. Oh, she asked them to be out on bond while they appeal? His father said it was all Tessa's fault to begin with. Oh, there you are. Angel Callie? How come we have like two? Angel Callie?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, I saw the verdict, and then I saw the prosecution, go up there and say what they recommended, and then what happened? Then the victim statements?
Well, the judge they said something about sentencing, and the judge said he wanted to do it right away, and he said, "Is the prosecution ready?" And they said yes, and then he said to the defense, he said, "Are you guys ready?" And she said, "No, they want time to regroup and think about this and all this stuff." And he says, "No, we're doing it right now."
Oh, okay.
So she basically sat back down, and his family started getting up to talk. Well, first they gave him the sentence. She was like life in prison with no parole plus like 400 years or something like that. It's just, they got her on almost every charge. And he got 30 years. He got less than her. He got like second degree murder.
Yeah, he was guilty. She got felony murder, right? And
he got malicious murder, but there's so many.
Yeah, there were so many. Yeah, there were so many charges. Yeah, counts. Right.
And then that they were saying that because he's not going to probably live long, that to take that into granted when they are doing the sentencing and that. But so basically the two aunts came up on Layla's side.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been the sister's one sister that came up, and she spoke and said that, we all love Layla and we love this, but we thought it'd be a better placement because, she was dealing with some drug issues, and we just wanted them to go to a safe home that, And then she got up and said all that, and then the next one got up. It was the great aunt, and she did really good speaking. She was just said that how much that the whole family they made it sound like the family didn't care about these kids, but they said they did care about them. And once they got them into like the system and that, it was so hard to get them. They said they kept placing them in all these different places and houses, and they didn't really agree with all what was going on. But when you do that, when you sign your kids over like that, I don't think you have a whole lot of say-so.
But I thought they were in a good foster home, and then Jennifer just weaseled her way in there because of her connections. Like, I thought that the foster home they were in, the lady didn't like. Every time they came back, they had bruises and stuff. Didn't that happen?
I don't know about I don't think there was anything major with the first people they lived with. So they just kept bouncing those kids all around. It was like at the great grandmother's house, and then at this people's house, and then over this. It was just, you can't do that with kids. They never feel really like they have a home. So, then who else spoke? The mother spoke.
Tessa?
And she was kind of, when she spoke, she was kind of crying in that. But she did an interview outside the
Courthouse?
courthouse, and somebody asked her something, and she says, "Oh, I'm happy," and smiling while her sister's bawling her eyes out next to her.
Hmm.
And then, like, that really wasn't a good response to, like, get out there, you know, and that she showed her tattoo of Layla that was on her arm.
Right.
And she just said that she thought giving them to a home because she knew that she had a drug problem, and she thought they were going to have a better life if she gave her kids a better life. So I can see that. I mean, at least there's a lot of people out here, young people that do drugs and try to keep their kids and, you know, screw them up. But I guess who can you trust? I mean, these people, look, the guy works in
But it looks like she deliberately, you know, weaseled her way in there in order to get back at, this used to be her foster sister, right?
Yeah, she just looks so mean to me. I don't know what it is about her.
Who, Jennifer?
When I look at her in that, you can tell that there's something off about her.
Yeah, definitely.
Something really, maybe it was like her life growing up in foster care, and probably never having a mother and a father and all that, I'm sure did damage to her.
Right. I mean, but she ended up, she would have been okay. I mean, isn't she in law school and everything? And, you know, so why'd she have to go take revenge on this foster sister because of some guy is supposedly what she did? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's very vindictive. Like, we got over it, right? I mean, just live her life and take it out on a little kid.
My kind of theory is that if she was in foster care before, and in foster care, you pretty much got to stick up for yourself. So I believe she was probably had a lot of run-ins with not so many nice people that she fostered with, and she held that in. And maybe when she, you know, doing the school and trying to study and then having these kids run around that she's not used to.
But she wanted them, right? I mean, nobody said that she had to have them. In fact, she went out of her way to get them. Why would she do that? So that's why they're saying, wouldn't it be revenge? Why would she think, like, she's a young woman. Nobody told me how old she was, but if she wanted kids, like, did she want adopted kids because of his cystic fibrosis? Was she a carrier too? Is any of that in play here?
I don't think so.
Or is it just totally vindictive that she wanted these kids?
I think, then Dad got on from Joseph's dad, and he said that he basically blamed it all on the biological mother. He blamed everything on her. Like, it starts off at you start off with life knowing your parents, and it just goes from there, and these kids shouldn't have been here, and my son's a good person, and, you know, on and on and on, and blaming the biological mom the whole time and all their family. And then every single one, the sister got up and talked about her, how great she was to her kids, and the same thing. Not one of them took responsibility for what they did, not any of them. And that's one of the things, after everybody spoke, the judge said, I cannot believe that none of you, looking at the defense and all the people, none of you have owned up and tried to get these people to see what's going on, because everybody looks like they have blinders on to everything and blaming these people. Like, it was just like a cat fight back and forth. You could tell there was so much tension in the air between the two. And that's exactly at that moment when I looked at those people, that's exactly how I felt when I was in court. When Brad died and I would go to court, those girls would all sit on me. They would laugh at me.
Mm-hmm.
They were mean, and you're the victim.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
the one that somebody's gotten killed. It's not you doing it to them.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel awful, like you're just like you did it somehow.
Right.
Like, you're ruining their life. You know, why can't you just stop and just let them go and say, hey, bye, and whatever, you know?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, when the kids, like, if she wasn't doing this to get back, like, if she wasn't intentionally hurting those kids, and those kids were getting hurt because she was just, like, couldn't handle them, and she was losing, like, you know, she was beating them, okay? It doesn't seem like something she would want. Like, maybe she would do that one weekend and say, oh, that was a bad mistake. I'm not doing that again. They can keep them, right? But she kept going back again. And so if it was something that it was so bad that she couldn't handle it and she was losing control like that, then, you know what I'm saying? Why would she continue with that? That makes it sound even more so that it's just vindictive, or someone saying political aspirations here, and it looked good, but does it look good if she's like so out of control? And how is she even studying in law school that she's supposed to be in, and running for an office? I mean, it's kind of crazy. It makes it look more than it's just she's doing it purposely to be vindictive.
Maybe she wanted them more for like a status symbol. Like, she was a foster parent herself, and she's going to get these foster kids and give them a good life.
Mm-hmm. Someone said she couldn't admit not handling children. Now, okay, that's a big thing too. If you've never had a child and then you just get, how old? They were like how old are these kids when they came to her? Like 2 and 4?
Yeah, 2 and 4.
Okay, and you just throw a 2 and a 4-year-old in there like that, and she cut all the corners, so she didn't go through any of the training, right? And she's been living this life with herself and her husband, and they throw a 2 and a 4-year-old in there that we don't know what they are, if they're active or they're, you know, what kind of behavior problems they had, and then she might have just lost it, right? So then why did she keep doing this? What?
Did you watch one of the cop interviews where they were interviewing her in the police station?
Mm-hmm.
One of the cops asked her a question about she works at night somewhere. And the cop said, well, if you work all night somewhere, when you get off work in the morning, who watches your kids? Who watches the kids, and how do you sleep?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was she always looks pissed off to me. Always. Every time I've looked at her, she always just looks pissed off. It's that kind of person.
I just don't get why. I'm missing something here, because I just don't understand why she would, if she's doing all that in her life, okay, she wanted to look good, but political aspirations, but there's people that run for office, and they were a young couple, so it wasn't like it's not like they never had kids or they never would have kids, you know?
Maybe she didn't want to have kids with him if he had cystic fibrosis.
Right, but even so, right, can anybody tell me how old these kids were in the chat? The kids, I mean, these people were, the guy looks very young. He looks very young to me.
I would think they're in their late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they're older than that. So a lot of people aren't even married nowadays in their late 20s, early 30s. So how do you know she can't have kids, Deb, on the move? She's 33, 34, and he's 33. Okay, well, that's still, I mean, it's not unheard of that someone doesn't have kids today at 33.
I think some people just can't focus on too many things. They have to do one thing, and like maybe she wanted the kids for like whatever reason, but then when they got there, it just maybe was too much for her. which is sad because there's so many people out there that would love those little girls.
Okay, so Mrs. Roger Rabbit said if he has CF, he probably can't even complete the act to have kids. She's 27, so he's got to be in his mid to late 20s. That's old age for CF. Okay, but it had nothing to do with them not being, it was her plan. See, that's what I think, Lorraine. It was just a plan. She was purposely doing it to the kids.
Didn't I tell you that yesterday after the defense attorney got on the stand and got that one juror kicked off, and the other one came in, and they were going to sequester them, they were going to take away their phones, they were going to do all this. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew it was either going to be quick now, because they're getting reprimanded so much, and you know, this and that, and they're like, hey, we don't want to go to a hotel, we don't want to start all over, we don't want to, you know. I think that it hurt the defense more than she thought it was going to help her.
I don't know. Jennifer had to look at hate on her face.
Weird.
Yeah.
Once they get the sentence or something, she really doesn't talk to them or. I've seen a lot of attorneys like put their arm around them or say sorry or do something that's emotional. She does nothing. I hardly even heard her say anything to them.
Yeah, Aletha, yeah, I think cystic fibrosis, you have to have 2 carriers. So, and then you have a 1 in 4 chance. Yeah, but you have to have 2 carriers. If she's not a carrier, their children could be a carrier of it, but they wouldn't have it. She would have to be a carrier of it also for them to get it. And that's what they have to do. So, yeah. I don't know.
I think he got 30 years plus some. She'll never see the light of day.
No. I think she's 32 and he's 30. I just can't believe their ages wouldn't be like completely well known.
They really didn't say a lot the whole trial.
And yes, so no one calls like the authorities on me. After we came back from swimming and had dinner, my kids napped because there's a new season of Fortnite. So.
Oh, man, I was going to tell you something really good and I forgot. Dang it.
So,
I shouldn't have looked at Luke getting stuff out of the ice cream.
No, he's getting chocolate milk, I think.
Oh, well, I didn't tell you. I forgot. Dang it.
She's too thirsty.
Okay. Okay.
Why do I look different?
Because your eyeglasses. Okay.
Do you guys have like a randazzle there or whatever they're called?
A what?
Hey, Luke.
A randazzle?
Hi, Luke.
Oh, she said hi, Luke. Luke, he went over. Angel Kelly said hello.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi. Said hello.
Do you have a randazzle there?
No, a randazzle?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard. What is that?
It's like a big fruit market.
Oh, no, yeah, I know. Oh, you sent me all the things? Okay. Oh, wow, I have a lot of viewing. Okay, wow.
Oh, let's see your thing behind you.
Oh, my thing, can you see it? I don't know if you're going to see it in the light. Here.
You can see it. I sent you the pictures of ours.
I took a picture of it, but I'm going to put the pictures on there, but it's like that. Well, and I'm going to tell you about this too here. What I found out, see, the paint doesn't come off now, you see, because it wasn't dry. And every time I would touch it, it would come right off the glass. And there was no way I could dry brush it. Every time I was dry brushing it, the paint was coming off.
It's coming right off.
So that's what got me so aggravated. So Mama Ames, I would say the next time, like I still have to touch these up a little bit, the bottles, because some of the paint is off. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to let it dry. Because once you let it dry, it doesn't come off. So it's kind of like the Jeff thing. If we do a black canvas, paint it before, saves time. Mom aims, if we do something like this, painting glass, I'd have everybody do it before. Like the frames were okay because they dried fast, but the jars were ridiculous. Well, at least for me, the paint kept coming off.
Yeah, if you had a craft where you had to paint certain things, you could always do that ahead of time.
Yeah, and I mean, they look okay now. Like some people might even keep them with a little bit of the paint off, but I don't know. I'm just like, now it doesn't bother me at all because you could pick it up and touch it.
What about the rope around the top of the bottle?
I put it on, see?
Where is it?
You can't see it? You'll see it in the picture. It's hard with the light. It's right up here.
Cute. It's really cute.
Yeah. So, and Barbara made it. Barbara made two. She made a bigger one too. So a lot of people improvised and did some neat things. So I'll put the pictures in a video. And if you made one, make sure that you send it in.
I got one and my mom made one too, but she made hers totally different.
I know. I just saw that. Yeah.
We didn't have any of the bottles.
But you look like the one you had looked like one of those. It had the round, like the circle on it. It looked like one of them.
She went to like 4 different stores.
Don't give Zoe any. He can't have chocolate milk. Zoe, get over here.
Listen, so we went up to the hospital today to see my brother.
Oh, your brother's in the hospital?
Remember I told you he had a heart attack?
Oh, right. How's he doing?
He's 55. He's only 55.
Guys.
And he had a heart attack. Now his kidneys, something's wrong with his kidneys. He's diabetic. He has half of his foot amputated a couple years ago from the diabetes. And now, like, his breathing is really bad. And we were, like, sitting there,
Ethan,
and I know a lot about medical stuff. So I'm like, well, what is his kidney function? What is his, let me see the panel of blood, things so I can see what's going on. She's like, no, we can't tell anybody that. I said, okay, can you tell me anything? She goes, no, we really can't. And I said, well, if he's not making sense for some reason, he's not like all with it. I don't know why. I don't know what would be causing this. But he's not really with it.
Oh.
And my mom and me are thinking we should send them to a rehab, like a nursing home rehab, so they can help him walk on, get to walk on his foot.
Yeah.
How do you speak in somebody's name like that? Like, how do you, if you're at a doctor's office and let's say your brother was in there and nobody was telling you any questions and he couldn't find out, he doesn't know.
Well, are you the, you can usually sign, like he can sign you up to be a person that can speak on his behalf and that they can talk to you as if he does that. Like, I mean, in New York, it's like that. Like if I wanted to be on my older son's, stuff that I would just have to sign it, or anybody could be. I'm sure for any family member, if you're the person that, if they became incapacitated or anything, not even power of attorney, Danielle, and like in our medical complex, we can just have that person sign up and they will talk to us. And it's not even a medical proxy, really. It's just an authorized person that they can talk to on the account. They do it right in, right there. So if he authorized you to do that, but yeah, you could go to the route of a medical proxy or something like that. But I think you might even be able to do it without getting, consulting a lawyer or anything like that for power of attorney. But isn't it next of kin? No, because next of kin is still going to be your next of kin, whether they give you the authority to speak on their behalf or not. I can't think of the name that it is. I know that I am for, like, HIPAA law prevents. Yeah, right. Absolutely. He has to authorize you. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I would just see if, he can do that.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to figure something out because he's not making a whole lot of sense when he's speaking.
Can I ask you something? Did he have surgery?
Oh, a couple of years ago they
but nothing with the heart. Nothing with the heart?
No.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes the anesthesia can make you. I mean, we thought my dad something was wrong with him after he had it was what was it was surgery for when he had colon cancer, and when they went in and when he came out, he wasn't right for like it was over a week. He was. I'm telling you, he went in there perfectly normal. He was coming out thinking he saw loaves of bread hanging from the ceiling. And this wasn't just right out. This wasn't like the first day, okay? This was well into like a week. He would think that I was there when I wasn't there. He would think I was laughing when I wasn't laughing. He would hear somebody on the intercom and he thought they were calling my son. You know, and I told everybody in the family, because this is the first we ever experienced, I said, he's got brain damage. He must have lost oxygen to his brain. This is not dad, right? This is not him. And then my sister started talking to a friend of hers that was a nurse, and she said, you know, it can happen for real. I said, like a week he thinks there's bread and cheese hanging. Like he thought he was like at an Italian delicatessen, okay? It sounds crazy. He thought there were ducks in the room at one point. Just crazy things, okay? But then he was okay. And so, yeah, it was the anesthesia really messed him up. Your mother was hallucinating. She thought she was, yeah, but was it after? That's what freaked me out, because it was like days after. Can bring about dementia. But Bella Mac, then he was okay after that. He was totally fine after that. Was he taking a lot of pain meds? I can't remember. The anesthesia was really, it really knocked him for a loop, but he didn't get it. Like then, he went under like a year later and he didn't end up like that. It was just the one surgery that just had him, crazy. But he had surgery after that and he didn't end up like that. So I'm just saying, if your brother had that, but you said he didn't. I know my brother had to have a mitral valve repaired, and they put him on they did at Columbia Presbyterian, the doctor that, he operated on, Bill Clinton operated on my brother, and he did a very new procedure, like is he the one that? No, he didn't have that. They did an invasive procedure on him. They cracked his chest, where they normally sometimes don't, but this doctor wanted to do it, so they put him on a heart-lung, what did they put him on, an ECMO? I'm trying to think. Whatever, because he had something, he came out kind of like that, and he was younger, so he said, it was the worst part of the whole thing was, and they said, well, you've got pump head. That's what they called it, pump head. And my older brother, who had a bypass, he said, no, I didn't have that. And then they found out my brother didn't have to go on that machine, and that was a big thing. Very common, that is very common, just being hospitalized. Okay. No, he didn't have a bypass, Sonny. He had mitral valve prolapse fixed. And my brother that had the bypass had an easier time in recovery than my brother that just had his mitral valve done. Yeah. But yeah, so you don't know. I mean, I would talk to somebody, but yeah, lots of things can happen after heart, lung. Oh my gosh, I thought he said, it wasn't, I thought it was I don't know, it was something they put him on. I thought it was he kept saying pump head. That's what it was. Because he said that was the worst part of the whole thing. It's a high risk of dementia from anesthesia. A small percentage of people do not come out of it, and it gets worse. Oh, really, Bella? She got it from the anesthesia and it never got better? I was really worried about that with my dad. Yeah, he was... I wouldn't say it was dementia. I would say he was hallucinating. I think he was having hallucinations.
The thing I remembered was the one girl got on the stand for the case.
Oh, yeah.
For the Rosenbaum, I think it was for the prosecutor side. And she said that through this whole trial that they've been calling Millie a liar. Like she lies about everything.
Yeah.
She lies through the whole thing.
Right.
And the one girl said it was really smart. She said, she goes, it was Jennifer, the one that taught her to lie, because they told her to lie about everything, to not show these roses and not show this, not tell somebody this.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of a good point, really.
Yeah.
Because most of the time if you're somebody abusing a child, you're going to say, don't tell this person, you will be in more trouble if you told this person at school, or which it probably was.
Right, yeah. You said
He,
somebody had
honestly,
happened.
the guy looks like he has much more emotion than she does.
Oh, yeah. That's what thank you for reminding me. I've been asking Cowgirl, I don't know, maybe she said so. Could you read his lips when he was talking to his wife, Cowgirl? And somebody said that Millie's adoptive mother spoke?
Yeah, she said that that Millie talks about her, and they're going to try to keep, the little ones knowing of her sister through pictures and videos and basically whatever they have. But she said Millie is the one that has to learn how to trust again and how to act again, and it's probably going to take that little girl a long time to. She's seen all the things that was going on there.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, like, how can you be a sister and you sit there and watch you both get beat, but let's say the other one got it a little bit more, and then thinking that's going to happen to you one day.
Oh, you mean for Millie?
Feeling that fear all the time.
Right, but they got her out of there, but yeah, hopefully she knows now that, Jennifer was, it's not normal what she did. She was not a good person, and hopefully she doesn't have to at least have that fear that it's going to happen to her. She's got, I think the mother she has now hopefully is a good mother.
She said, she never had kids either.
But now
she doesn't have any kids.
Who doesn't have any kids?
The lady that took the kids.
Oh, yeah? But now Millie will know they got punished. Oh,
some
that
people
they got punished, yes.
If you're meant to be parents. A mom, you're meant to be a mom, You just... I think, seriously, if I had a baby that came to the house where I could nurture it, man, I wouldn't feel any different.
You would what?
I wouldn't feel any different, but my mom raised my cousin when we were little. He was in...
Oh, you missed it? You have to watch it, Cowgirl, and read his lips, please. I'm sorry.
His mom was just totally crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom kept asking to get, she'd put him in, as a baby, she'd put him in a cold bath. She'd make him sit on a bed with no mattress. She'd make him go to school in his pajamas. Just really weird. And then it got to age about 6. Mm-hmm. And things really started falling off the deep end. So my mom went over there and said, please just let me keep David for a while until you figure out what you're going to do. Well, he ended up living with us until he was almost 40-something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you see that, right? Because I know my sister and I used to see kids you ever see people that are out with a kid and it just looks like you just want to take that kid because, and I don't mean to steal the kid. I'm just we would say we'd see this couple with a 2-year-old. And it just looked like the kid's in a dirty undershirt and doesn't even have socks and shoes on. And they're just parents are in the ozone and they're not even watching their kids. And you just say, my sister and I would go oh my gosh, just let us have that little kid. He's young enough. We could turn this around. Let's not keep repeating this cycle. And seriously, I know as crazy as it sounds, we've said that, like, just why, because you could just see what's going to happen with some of these parents. They're I don't know. It's just like, oh my gosh, please, right? Because and I don't even think they would be that upset. And that's the funny thing. I asked some. I used to where I used to work. There was a guy that he worked on all the boats there, and I just said to him, because he was telling me about like people like that, and he knew a lot. And I said, what would they do? Because like the kids were an inconvenience to these girls and stuff. He said, oh my gosh. I said, there's so many people that can't have kids. And do they even know? I said, somebody would give them, $10,000 for like this private adoption or whatever it is. And he goes, they do it for $1,000. I swear to you. So that's what I'm saying. He goes, and he goes, they probably do it for even less. And that's what I'm saying. These poor kids, and you see, and so like we would say it half joking, but it's like, yeah, maybe you're saving some kid's life. And now every time I go to the store and I see a kid like that, I think, is that what Layla looked like? Is that what, just these kids that the little boy in, where was it? It was in Indiana, that was killed. Like I see them now and I say, so it's scary because I don't think they really want the kids.
What do they do in a case like that where they sentence them right away? And they put handcuffs on. They go directly to jail, right? Prison, right? They don't get to collect their belongings or do anything like that.
No, they're
right?
not going to have any belongings. Yeah, I mean, they're going to just go to the Department of Corrections. I mean, they're going to probably go. They probably go back where they were. Then they're going to transfer them to their prison, right? Because right now they're just aren't they? Are they still being held like in the county, and then they're going to transfer them to the prison?
So what do they do with like all their house and all the belongings and stuff?
Right.
What do they do like with their house and all their belongings in the house?
Oh, I mean, I guess that gets the power. They must have their parents take over, like how Ronnie Watts got some stuff from Chris. I guess they just do that kind of stuff. They had 4 years to get it together. I just wanted to hold her just for a little while. Yeah. They sold their home in 2017, you believe, Tanya?
Did everybody send their craft pictures in?
Barbara did. You did. Who else did we have doing crafts last night?
After people have been watching us do a couple of crafts, what are they saying? Are they saying they want to try?
Oh, so one woman, she wants to make these little snow people. She just got into the craft group. They're the kind like with the socks and they have little hats, and she makes them with little books. And so she and her husband want to come in and do a tutorial class on them. And who else said something? Oh, and then Lisa Di Fieri, who did the pineapple decoupage thing, she went in there and put some stuff in there for the decoupage class. And then who else said something? Oh, and then the woman with the Christmas houses. So I think, Cowgirl do what Philomath?
I've seen a really cute one. It's one of those things you put over the door, the metal. I have a whole bunch on every one of my doors. Mm-hmm. It goes over the door and it's metal and it has the hooks you can hang purses, hats, clothes, whatever you want on it. Mm-hmm. And you buy like one that has 6 of them, so you need a bigger one. And you get these little bitty bird houses. Mm-hmm. And she painted all the bird houses, like I think red on the bottom and silver on top. I was thinking that's a weird combination, but anyway, she painted the red on the bottom and the silver on top. And then she used the wood letters. She put a magnet on the back of each one. And then she spelled out summer, winter, autumn, and spring. So you can interchange them. And they're really cute. They're, she had them strapped up there with some burlap stuff for the things. It wouldn't take that long to do that thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cute. Oh, and she put little lights in the inside of each little birdhouse.
Oh, yeah,
really
the
cute.
string lights, like the fairy lights.
At first I was thinking it wasn't going to be that good, but when she got done with it, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are sending in a lot of good ideas, and I think, maybe as more and more people appear on camera, people will get less and less shy. I know that's held up a lot of people. Some people are doing things like in the chat, but really, life is short. Just go on the camera, you'll be fine.
Well, I think they think it's different, like how you're doing it. When you're doing the craft or whatever, they just show you a bit of you for a second. It's not like you don't have to sit on camera and talk for 3 hours.
You could just sit there and work on your craft, and Jessica will highlight you when it's time to see what you're doing.
And you don't even have to like have it on you the whole time. You could have it on the craft half the time. You could have it. I still need to get one of those damn phone stands. I freaking hold it. And then
get it on Amazon. You can. It just clips on and.
Which is the one you showed? That's the one I wanted to get something like that one.
I'll send you the link to that, and then you can see it. Yeah, because those are good to have, because you get a light and it has like a gooseneck thing, so you can move the phone any way you want. Let's see.
I didn't know you could do sentencing right after a verdict. I always thought they gave you time.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like the one, which one did they just? Didn't they just wait on? Did they sentence that guy? What was his name? The one that killed the woman in Florida? You know which one? Scott, what was his name?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, Scott, what the heck was Nelson? Didn't they wait on his sentencing? Hi, Kindness
I don't know.
Hi, Diana. Hi, Bella. Hi, Jeff, who came in. Or you can drop it on the floor like me. Yeah, everybody should get one of those. That should be like, for a channel like this, that probably should be like merch, right? It really should, because if we have a lot of people on doing stuff, we should have like a signature one or something, can have special little things on it. I don't know. I keep talking about this, except I haven't even put up a sweatshirt or a mug because I can't even get to that part of it.
All we should do is donate all the crafts that we make, and then you sell them.
Eva. I think everybody's happy with the crafts they make, or they use them as, but I think we have some really good crafters coming up to teach stuff.
Like I said, we could sell all the stuff, and then we could pick something to do, like.
Oh, like go on a cruise or something? You think we would make them?
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think like showing how do people put makeup on, or you think everybody basically?
No, I mean, there's all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be just crafts. Like people I know want to do. I was thinking today while I was swimming. Oh, that's what I did. I was swimming and thinking, and I was thinking out loud with my GoPro. So I've got to put that on. I don't even remember what I was saying, but it was some stuff about the channel.
Yeah, I would do merch. I mean, you could do. What's really popular is lemons.
Lemons?
I went into the hospital gift shop because I love hospital gift shops. They always have like the coolest things. Did you ever go into hospital gift shops?
Oh, hospital gift shops? Yeah, sometimes.
They have like really different stuff there.
Yeah, they had a lot of lemons.
So I went in there and they had some like really cute stuff like that to sell for. I think mostly it's people that bring stuff in.
It could be, yeah. It could be that. It might be. It depends on what hospital and what kind of things. But let's see
what would you do with Oh, you couldn't do it with that. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Okay. So let me see what's going on in the chat here. Let's see.
Do you want me to get off so somebody else can get on?
Well, no, I mean, I think so did we finish the end of this? So, like, I'm going to have to watch, because, so there was victims, let's just recap. The Rosenbaum's guilty. The Jennifer was guilty of, what was she? Felony murder, guilty on a bunch of 49 other, but she didn't get all 49. There were a couple they said not guilty on. A few, right? Joseph got second-degree murder guilty, and then he had quite a few that were not guilty. After that, it was mostly like the what was it? The intent. What was it? You remember the counts that he wasn't guilty on? Was it aggravated abuse? Something like whatever. But he wasn't guilty on a few of them, and then he got, what did somebody say, 30 years and 20 years probation, and she got, I think it was, well, she's in there for life, but someone was saying it equated to 545 years. Someone said it was, when I said no parole, that's what I heard the prosecutor say. Oh, you want to be a foster? Oh, that'd be great, cowgirl. Yeah, excellent.
Be a what?
Foster parent. Cowgirl wants to be a foster parent now that she has her hearing back. Okay, and let's see what else they have. So then I've got to see the victims' impact statements. And if you take on foster children in Australia, the government pays you $700 a month per kid, plus power bills. And if you show receipts, that's a lot, Lacey, isn't it? $700 a month per kid, plus the power bills. Clothes, bed, sporting.
Yeah, well, I guess not if you have to buy shoes, school clothes. But you can always go get secondhand clothes at, like, mothers that are selling swap clothes. You can find some really nice stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Maybe I didn't think that foster.
You think somebody could make jewelry? Have you ever made jewelry before?
Like, for what?
Have you ever made jewelry before?
Yes, in a kit that I was sent to review, but not like I don't, and maybe like, pasta necklaces as a kid and bead bracelets and stuff like that, and Girl Scout crafts, but not real. I mean, not really intense jewelry making.
You think people would know how to do that?
Would anybody know how to make jewelry?
It's like
Hey, Mona.
different because you have to have the tools to like crimp the edges.
They sell those on Amazon in a little kit, because I have a little kit of those. Like, and they're not usually much money.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah. Life with parole, huh? Bella saying life with parole. Okay. Hello.
He was pretty much crying.
What?
The guy was crying more than the woman.
He was crying. Yeah, he was. Jennifer was sentenced to life plus 40 years in prison, and Joseph 30 years in prison, followed by 20 years on probation. That is what I know about this. The Aussie government has.
You should listen to it though, because like.
Oh, I'm definitely going to listen to the victims' impact. I just didn't know they were there. I didn't know they were there at all. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Scooter. Did you guys hear about the Kennedy granddaughter? I just heard she committed suicide at the Hyannis camp. Really? That family, right? Yeah, they have a lot of heartache.
Who's the Kennedy? What did she say? The granddaughter?
The granddaughter, 22. She committed suicide at Hyannis compound.
I was telling you about my one. I call him my brother that was in foster care, and then they took him out. My mom would drive by with her mom and check on him to see if these people, were doing right by him. And one time they brought him over a winter coat. Well, the next time when they went over there, one of their kids was wearing his winter coat.
Uh-huh. And
they said, well, why isn't David having the winter coat? He says, well, we gave it to him. And like, he wouldn't have done that, you know, this is his only winter coat.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had, it was a winter coat and something else.
Hi, Sharon. Hi, Helen. Gina, Mona.
Oh, he went into the refrigerator. They wouldn't give him any sugar at all.
Uh-huh.
They were those Jehovah's Witness people.
Right.
So they wouldn't give him any snack stuff or whatever.
You can't have sugar if you're a Jehovah's Witness?
He took all the cupcakes and licked off all the cupcakes frosting. And she got really pissed at him and spanked him and threw him up on the bed.
Mm.
And my mom said, like, this is enough, you know, we'll just take him. And so he lived with us, like I said, until he was 40. And then my brother's kids, my mom took care of, well, it was actually my mom and me that took care of my nieces. They basically lived with us.
Mm. Mm.
But it's not easy when you have, I can't imagine having a foster kid. I mean, what's a shame is everybody wants the babies and the young ones because they have less like problems from all of the stuff they've had to go through.
Right.
But I don't know how many babies are. They just have been on TV about all those.
Oh, there are quite a few that go into, oh boy, I think, are you on mute? Because we're getting a little feedback, but there, I mean, like a girlfriend of mine, I mean, she's a really good family and she got 3 little boys and boy, they love them like crazy. And there was a baby, I think you have to put us on mute because there's getting feedback, but, and there was like 2 others and then they gave them back to the mother and they had like a normal life with my friend. And she was like, she had known that they just were fostering, but she gave these kids such a normal life and they had already come from all that. The mother took them back and then she went back on drugs or whatever. And they didn't give them back to her. They gave them to another family. So, this is Angel Callie. So, yeah, I mean, it's not... It was, I mean, it hurt all of us because we saw, like, she would tell us all the time, like, what she did for these kids. And then when they went away, it was, like, the hardest thing because she said she was praying that the mother could take them, even though she really didn't want to give them back to the mother. And then, yeah, I mean, and then their kids were young. And I think it's really hard on the kids that are in the family because they, I don't know, it's hard all around that. All of that is very hard. Like, emotionally for the parents, for the siblings, for anyone.
Okay, do you think, this is a question, there was 2 people from Australia, a man and a woman, and he was basically white and it looked like she was some kind of Oriental, whatever. So a long time ago, he was in prison for pedophilia. And this one woman was going to carry their babies for them and then give them to them, you know, like.
So she was going to be a surrogate. A surrogate?
Yeah. So this girl had the baby and one of them died. They found out they have Down syndrome. One of them died and the couple took the other one, but they called her back and said they wanted a refund because they didn't want a baby with disabilities or anything like that.
Okay, well, wait a second. Was the, you said they had 2, she was pregnant with twins, one of them died and one of them had Down syndrome?
Yeah.
Is that what you, okay. And so the baby with Down syndrome was born alive and the couple took it?
Yeah, and they've been raising it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they want a discount because of the Down syndrome?
Well, no, they want, for that too, but everybody wants them out because they're a gay couple and...
Okay, well, but wait a minute. Here's what I don't understand. I missed that. They're a gay couple? Okay, I was going to say, I thought you said it was a male and a female. I was going to say, was it their eggs and their sperm that she was carrying, but it couldn't be. So, yeah, I mean, was it did one of them donate the sperm?
I think it was Monty, wasn't it? I think it was my brother.
Wait, I'm so lost. What are we talking about?
It was, I just wanted to know if once you have, let's say you adopt a child like that, and they're not getting along with you for some reason, you can't handle them for some reason, can you send them back?
If they had a surrogate, can they send the baby back? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
They're supposed to have a contract that they're supposed to take the baby. Like, I've heard the other way around, where there was a woman that had, she was carrying the baby, and then they made it into a Lifetime movie, but it was a true story. And she had twins, and the couple didn't want twins. The guy just wanted, and then he said, no. And she said, well, isn't it a great thing? There's twins. And they said, well, we don't want twins. And they were a very wealthy couple. And then they just wanted, I don't remember, the girl or the boy. They wanted, I think, the girl, okay? And she started to feel really horrible because, and I believe they were her eggs that were used, okay? So they were biologically her children. So she kept thinking about it, and then she said she would keep the boy. But then she got to think about it more and more, and she thought, you know what? I don't want these people raising this girl if they're like this heartless. And so she ended up suing them, and she ended up getting the babies. But there was another case in Canada that was ridiculous, where they took this woman had a baby. It was her child or something. She had like postpartum depression. And she was an older woman too. She gave the babies, I think it was twins, up for adoption, and some Florida lawyer took advantage of her, and they were adopted in Canada or something. And then she changed her mind immediately, and she was going through this like tremendous custody battle that was blogged about, and I never followed it to the end. And I know I talked about it here, and somebody said something about it. You remember that movie, Buzzkill, about the surrogacy? Yeah. So that I know, Callie, but then I'm sure they've had where a baby has been born with disabilities, and they probably would say that, well, they, I don't know. I mean, if it was a surrogacy where there was an insemination where they didn't have an embryo to test, and they would probably say, your chances are your chances, like you would. What is it with it's not the cat with the leaking? What's in the it's not a cat with a leaking? What in the what? Oh, I don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, no, I mean, I think in the contract, it must just say, just like a regular birth, like, I mean, you can't, if something happens, if your baby's born with Down syndrome and that didn't show it on the test, whatever, you can't give it back. I mean, you could give it up for adoption, and there are people that do that. I've read that in parenting magazines. There are Down syndrome adoptions. That I thought was really, like, I don't know, I'm not going to say anything, but I mean, it just, when I read about that in Parents Magazine a while ago, like this couple, they just had a baby with Down syndrome, and she's like, no, I can't do this. And so they gave it up for adoption to somebody but I mean, yeah, I don't know. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that helped a lot. I don't know. Adopted parents can give up kids at any time. Yeah, but she's talking about surrogacy. I feel like that kid with his hand shoved in his pockets kicking a rock down the street. Okay. All right, well, that was good, but her, not his. I'm trying to read that I'm worried about what I'm talking about. I don't know what you guys are talking about in this chat, because it's not anything that when you adopt, they're your children, you cannot give them up. But I think she's talking about surrogacy. You adopt from, and you can't return them. Well, you can. There's disrupted adoptions. a lot of people that were adopting from other countries, especially like Russia, where a lot of the kids had fetal alcohol syndrome and they had a lot of things going, on with them. There was a blogger, she wrote about, it was crazy, but I think she did some crazy things. Some of the stuff she said she did, but they ended up putting him in a special school. I don't know. But there are others that had disrupted adoptions, and there's this other lady, she adopted a little boy. I don't know where she was, where the child was from, but she could never bond with him. And she's like, oh, I'm so much happier that I had a disrupted adoption. And there are a lot of disrupted adoptions. Not, a lot, but there's some, especially with, I know there was a blogger or something that some of these Christian bloggers were on this kick, and they were just adopting sibling groups of 6 or 8 from Africa. And it was just I don't know. And then one couldn't take it. And she started saying all this stuff. It was a big controversy, and she had to disrupt the adoption of some of those kids. Your parents adopted a baby with Down syndrome. She's the youngest and is 38 now. Yes, you can give them back during the first year. Baby Gammy left Down's baby in Asia and brought normal child home to Australia. What? Baby Gammy? Hold on. Aussie father, child molester, left its Down baby in Asia and brought a normal child home to Australia. What, Lacey? This is called, I'm going to see this if I look up Baby Gammy case. I'm going to write that down. That sounds interesting. Baby Gammy. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know her mother was killed by the other daughter. They have looked. What are we talking about? You're trying to give your 39-year-old up for adoption? Yeah. Hey, look, there's Indian writing under my coffee table. Are you in your flip house or whatever house it is? My guest was talking about it? No, you weren't. Were you talking about what she just said about you weren't talking about the Australia case. No, she was, I don't know who. No, that wasn't the same case, Lacey. I don't know. All right, well, somebody remember adopted Aileen Wuornos after she was sentenced to death. Oh, was she she was adopted? Well, that is like the Amish. They so-called foster babies from prison women. Are you serious, Cowgirl Up? I'm going to have to look up that, too. Okay, so what do I have to look up? Gammy baby. Hold on a minute. And the Amish, they foster prison babies? I've never heard that. Okay. Foster prison babies? Okay. And look it up now. With overpopulation getting worse, I've always considered adopting when I'm ready to have children. Definitely not for another 5 years. It's not so easy, though, if you want a newborn. You know, I mean, if you adopt internationally, it's incredibly expensive. If you want a newborn, and then there's that whole, I mean, there's so much controversy now whether the children are really, you've got, was it Guatemala that was closed because the children weren't really orphans, they were taken from the mothers. China, the same thing was happening, that they kept saying all those babies were being left in parks and stuff. And I thought that was so weird, because if you live there, like, what do you just look under the park bench and there's a baby? You know, I mean, I have to tell you the truth. If I looked under my park bench and I found a baby, I probably would take that baby home. But Is that what it is? Like, do any Chinese parents go, well, let's just go to the park and get a baby? That's why I didn't believe it. But I think it's all a farce. And they make up fake newspaper articles to show it, and they've proven that some of it was fake. So now, like a lot of these parents that adopted from China, they don't know. And they even had a documentary where that happened to one of the girls, and she went back to meet her real parents that never gave her up. Okay, Gina. A lot never got their babies back. In Australia, we fundraised for the Downs child and sent thousands to beautiful Asia lady who loves and cares for the child left behind. Do they dress the children in? They have a drop-off like a letterbox that go into one. No, that's in, I know which one you're thinking of. Isn't that in Korea or something? They actually say that the children are left in the parks. You never heard about that either, too, Scooter, the Amish? Used to be baby girls were unwanted, boys were important, but now there is more men. Of course, because, yeah. Children used to have a law. Oh, Chinese, that only one child. Now they can have two, but they, otherwise they have to pay a fine or something. Yes, Tanya, that's a true thing, yes. Oh, Japan baby box, okay. I knew it wasn't China, because China, they say they're left in the parks. And then when you go to adopt in China, you've got to bring not only this huge fee, you've got to bring all these gifts for when you go to the, what is it, the White Swan Hotel, that after you get your baby, and you got your gotcha day, you got to go to the Swan place, and you've got to bring gifts to all these people. It's kind of like, every time you hear about it, it's like, I don't know, briberies. It's very, very expensive to adopt from China. And now China, if they have all these regulations, because they got tired of people saying like, oh, China's so great, they can't take care of the kids, all the Americans are adopting them. So now they said if anybody's ever taken antidepressant medication, if the certain people had a BMI, body mass index that was too high, they're no. There's so many different things, like the age between the two, the couple had to be couldn't be more or less. The age of the mother had to be a certain, they had just like crazy regulations, but that they just started to deny all kinds of people. Oh my gosh, hi 69. I was just thinking of that. Hi 69. He said his daughter is in for the summer, so it's a little crazy. Of an England who's suing for not telling her their baby would have had Down syndrome. The celebrities? What about the celebrities? People should not adopt to look like a humanitarian hero to the PS. You adopt when you're desperately. Yeah, but there's a lot of. They think it's their calling, and then what happens is they're just adopting huge sibling groups, and that's why there's so much abuse and kids that were killed in those kind of families. Hey, my full heart and hands. You're doing dishes right now? Hi, 69? Dish pan hands. Okay, I'm going to talk about Amato. Arlene Preo and her husband adopted? Oh, is that the lady that she lives on a horse farm or something? Oh, you're doing good? You're in, okay. Did the doctor not relay the test to them? You go out the window. I didn't even see what the disgraceful troll said, but I guess I'm better off. Saw that program of the Chinese girls being reunited with their birth parents, and 2 of the girls found out they were sisters. Oh yeah, I saw that one too, yep. You have wet hands and you're doing dishes. Okay, that's okay. Why would they adopt? Wasn't that the one with Pierce? Who didn't, not Pierce, what the heck is that guy's name? It's disgusting, yeah. There was one that they were hitting kids with glue sticks. Have you even ever heard of that? And they're like, look at these glue sticks. You get the big glue sticks. They don't leave marks. And they were talking, some of these blogs are really scary. I'm not kidding around. They said, like, and I'm like, is she for real? There was oh my gosh, like a message board. Was it called like, not Jezebel, is it Jezebel or something like that? Where they look at a lot of these fundamentalist blogs and they were crazy with abuse, even for their own kids. I know this one blogger was talking about, oh, it's so difficult, we're doing all day training here. And oh, it was on Gomi, I think. You ever read Gomi, Get Off My Internet? They were saying like these people were essentially beating their kids the entire day. Glue sticks, I-69, glue sticks, okay? Yeah. And making it sound like as if they were doing like some DIY. I mean, they showed what they wrote. And I'm just like, no, she can't be. And oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, no, she was like, and it was in that same thing. They call them like the fundies or something. And one of them said, like, she went over to the house, and the other mother's like, oh, you know what you have to get? You have to get glue sticks and get the big ones. Supposedly there's like glue sticks that are this long. And she goes, here, let me hit you with one. So it's like she hit her on the hand with one, and she's like, see, doesn't that hurt? But it doesn't leave a mark. And they're writing about it in a blog. And then that little poor girl that was killed, I think she was adopted from Russia maybe, and they recommended, oh, you know who recommended it? That guy that recommends for you to kit your kids with a plumbing supply line. Michael Pearl. They read Michael Pearl. And somebody was doing either, it was a documentary or it was a blog, and they took Michael Pearl's book and they went to the Home Depot and they said, where's the plumbing supply line? And the guy showed it to him, and then they said, well, he said, would you hit a kid with this? And the guy was like, no, I would never hit a kid with that. That's ridiculous. And he said, well, this book, over here says this is a good thing to hit kids with. And that's how that little girl died. They beat her with the plumbing supply line. You don't know that case of the little girl? I think she was adopted I think they adopted 2 girls, okay? From, I think it was some African country or it was Russia. I could find the case. And she just like, oh, this one won't listen. And they were these fundamentalists, and this is what they followed. Yeah, they're totally different combos, Jeff. Yeah, you guys never heard of that one? You know who, oh, I know. You know where I read a lot of it? Was Mother Jones. You ever read that blog, Mother Jones or something? She wrote about the people that were adopting and abusing the kids and killing them. And then a lot of people attack that because they're like, no, Michael Pearl that's fine. But if you ever seen that, it's not fine. A girl can have, say, 3 kids taken from her for safekeeping. She goes on to have more kids. Well, Diana, a lot of times it could be probably maybe they're on drugs and she doesn't even, you know what I mean? Not even thinking about no brain and giving them, yeah. You guys should really look at that, please. A book, no, it's not a nun. Michael Pearl. You remember that vaguely too, Scooter? Yeah. I wrote about it once on Facebook, and then some people were like, all right, let's not get carried away. And I'm like, what do you mean let's not get carried away? You've never heard of that, Cowgirl? You look it up. Everybody look up, who hasn't heard of it, look up Michael Pearl, and Michael Pearl, just put child rearing. Yeah, there's a big controversy over that. I'm trying to think what his, the other one that does something like that is, there's a big revolt against Ted Tripp, Tripp. You're 11 minutes behind in the chat, and that's, no, Robin, the chat is not making sense to me either. There's 19 different conversations going on. No, you were thinking of Daniel Pearl? No. Michael. You wanted to say hello. Hi, Honey Hush. I totally just listened to some of the Rosenbaum case. Sickening. I just can't believe more of you don't know that. Do you know about a lot of the adopted kids that were being killed? And there's that other one that she was like crying in court. And what about the one that, didn't she shoot her adopted child? Oh my gosh, I think it was in Ohio, or the other way around, or that there's so many cases like that where they get the kids, and then if there are these fundamentalists, they are like beating these kids that come over here with like this. It's horrible. Oh, the big, well, I'm going to get into that. It's going to be about the Amato case and doing more premieres. I'll get into that in a minute, Tammy. Yeah, the fundies. But there's like all kinds of message boards and blogs about that. I think that, Free Jinger, isn't that's another one. Free Jinger, they talk about that. Free Jinger, Jinger. If you look at Gomi, Gomi, yeah. Okay, and then there's, what is the other one? Then there's just like some personal blog. Yeah, but they'll tell you, and you can't even believe some of the stuff. I think it was it his book or was it the other guy? Was it How to Train Up a Child book? Oh, that's the True Train Up a Child, right? But there's another book too by Ted Tripp. And then there's another book by, oh gosh, and there's people that came out about like being raised with parents that took that Ted Tripp book. There's a lot of stuff going on. You've never owned a glue? No, but Mona, they're big glue sticks. I had never heard, I thought glue sticks came like this big. I'm like, what the heck? No, they have like glue sticks that are like 12 inches long, and they're thicker. But I guess they're saying like, oh well, if you hit the kid with I don't know, a piece of wood, it's going to leave a mark. But the glue sticks sting like crazy, but they don't leave any marks. So you could hit the kids, a lot, and it's not going to leave marks for Child Protective Services. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I mean, I think that's along the lines of pregnancy addiction, and I think that in these people that are in this, it's almost like they have to outdo each other. So if this one has 15 kids, that one's got to have 15 kids. And if that one's going on a mission and they're going to adopt a sibling group of 6, well, the other one has to too. And then that's how this one couple ended up with like 6 kids of their own, adopted like a sibling group of 6 from Africa of all different ages. And then she had to disrupt the adoption of several. And she said, I'm so embarrassed to tell you. And people were just like, why would you go into this? You don't even know what it's horrible. It's like a club for killer parents. I've used those glue sticks. I don't know how they don't leave a mark. Oh, you use them for glue, right? They actually, wherever this thing was, this blog or something, like, I think it was Free Ginger that took excerpts of it. And she's like, oh yeah, I went to so-and-so's house and she hit me with the glue stick. And she said, you've got to get glue sticks. That's how we do it around here. I really, there's some, the big glue sticks, random guy. Oh yeah, it does feel cult-like, Laura. You're exactly right. And that's why they even have a blog like where they say quivering. You guys don't know any of this? I could teach you a lot of stuff. There's something called quivering, no longer quivering. And it's people that came out of the quiverful movement, where the parents just have as many kids as possible. Shepherding, yes, that's the other one. Long glue sticks, yes. Javi, yes, High 69. You used to love the smell of emerald glue, yeah. Did you also eat paste, Ravi? How come they don't even sell paste anymore? Kids used to eat paste. Feel that adults who beat small children should receive exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's, Tanya, it's very infuriating. And a lot of them have killed children that were adopted. Go look at the cases of the and there was one where this mother was like, I couldn't help it. I couldn't handle it. She had fetal alcohol syndrome or something, but it's like, and then remember that one that sent the boy back? Well, at least everybody was so enraged she sent the boy back on the plane. But I think it was better than if she killed him, like a lot of these other ones are killing them. Not far from you, a Dutch community, and they are old Dutch and follow really messed up things. Yeah, I can imagine. It's really messed up. But there were a lot of cases. Karma is a bitch for people like this in prison. Yeah, in Singapore. Remember that kid that, what did he do? Was it, he stole a stop sign or something? Or did he put, for chewing gum on the street? If you throw chewing gum on the street, you could get flogged in Singapore, I think. You ate everything as a kid? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't say, what word? Mommy just said did I? No, did I? Pretty bad. I didn't say that. Where did I say that? I don't recall that, Robbie. I think you missed. The entire town rose up. Oh my gosh, we were in a town like that. That was ridiculous. That was Honesdale, Pennsylvania, and they're a tourist town, and everything was closed up by 8 o'clock. It was ridiculous. What did I say it about, Robbie? Oh, I read it from a comment. Okay. That's why I don't. Wow, I need to look into those. I love flamingos. You're a night owl. Yeah, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I told Jimmy, I'm like, I should give them marketing advice. This is tourist town. Why are they closing everything up? It was horrible. The restaurant, everything. And they had like music on the streets, but then everybody was closed. A lot of, yeah. I was reading. Okay. I don't even remember that, Robbie. That scares me. Just like I can't remember what I was talking about on the GoPro. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. I'm very familiar with all the movements you're talking about. I like in Arkansas with the Duggars, but I've never seen that site where it's basically showing you how to beat children. Yeah, Mike, did you see it? Michael Pearl, is that stuff still up? I mean, I haven't looked at it in a few years, but is all that stuff still up there, Michael Pearl? I think he has videos on YouTube. I'm not kidding you. He says that, I think this is what he says, that, again, they'll train a child all day. If you listen to Michael Pearl, you'll train a child one straight day, and then it will always be that he's there. So they say, well, what do you mean you train a child one straight day? So if he says to his kid, like, Mark, and Mark doesn't come, like, immediately, then he takes that plumbing supply line and he hits the kid. And they just do this all day long. Like, wait, check it out if it's still up there. Maybe they've got it down. I don't know. He does have videos, and it's still up. Blanket training. Well, the blanket training is probably tame compared to the plumbing supply training. Yeah, and that's what this one blogger was saying. She's like, we have an old, and she was talking like it was like a do-it-yourself thing. That's what they were saying in the free Jinger. She's like, oh, it gets hard. We had all-day training here on Sunday, and they're like, all-day training is what? Isn't it like, beating your children? It is sick. But when I was saying something about it on Facebook like a few years ago, like most people were like that. But then some people were like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. Like I said, because it's a lot of the people that they have all these kids, and the reason they have all these kids is because they train them like this, like they're scared to death. And then a few of the people were like, I don't want to talk, like as if they thought they couldn't, that we do that. And if they move off, oh, you hit them? Oh, you do hit them? Oh, I didn't know you hit them. I thought you just keep putting them back on the blanket. You hit them? You're sure, Jess, that they hit them? I thought they just put them back on the blanket. That's not good. Your message disappeared? Yeah, if you put too many characters in, it'll disappear. You hit them. What are they hitting them with, Jessica? Plumbing supply line? Do they say that in the book? Hit them? Hit the little kids? I thought they just put them back on the blanket. Like, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I just thought they just kept putting them back on. I think that's what that Duggar mother said. That Duggar mother said, I think somebody asked her, and I don't think she said she hit them. But she could have been lying. You just looked it up. They hit them in the blanket training? Nice. Somebody has to talk about it. Yeah, but I have to go back to that post because then I started talking about it, and then people started getting like, oh, with the rubber ruler. Oh, I remember oh my gosh, I remember was it Mrs. Duggar that said about the flexible ruler? But though they claim they don't hit their kids, the Duggars. The wooden spoon and smaller tubing. They tempt them with toy. Oh my gosh, they tempt them to see. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Lies by omission. FYI, your email is back to queuing, so no new email. Whose? My email is not queuing. I have G Suite. Back to queuing. What do you think? Yes. I mean, I'm not really following that too much there. I mean, I've heard some that the Duggars claim a lot of things, right? Yeah. I think they smack them. Hitting them with an instrument if they try to crawl off the blanket or floor. That's lovely. But I think, okay, this is just my thing. If they didn't do this, I don't think they could have all these kids. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying I think that's why they do that. Because if they don't have this like intense fear and that they can put their kids down, I don't think they would be able to take care of 20 kids. They want like things to run. Right, that's what I thought the training was. I think that's what Mrs. Duggars, I don't know if she said that. You saw it on the website, Remick? Jamie, what happened? Congratulations? Congratulations, Jamie. My girls got 3 warnings on if they tossed out something they really like. The TV, yeah. That's sick, the blanket training. Aletha, oh, to Scooter, that's what I mean. That's what I mean about the addiction. And do you remember when they showed her going to the doctor in like her late 40s and she was going, oh, I'm at the end of my cycle, like the end of her fertile years or something, and I don't know what to do. And then she was saying that they posted on the calendar. I guess she posted on a big family calendar, so which seemed really odd to me that you would put your cycle up and on a big family calendar when you have. It just seemed a little wacko. And because one time when she was pregnant, they're like, what did you tell them? She's like, well, my kids know because they look at the calendar, so they know if I don't have my, and I'm like, what? It was a little bit crazy. I don't know. I mean, I know a person like that in real life, and I think 100% she's addicted to pregnancy. And I know 100% she fell in with this quiverfill movement, and they're all one-upping each other. And she's in the lead all the time, and I think in her mind she has to stay in the lead, even though she really is like having a nervous breakdown inside. She keeps doing it because one of her good friends told me, I think someday she wants to run away. Her mother and father put on her page something like when everybody tells her, they go, oh, remember when we have to come over because you hide in a closet because it's dinner time and you just can't handle it? So her parents run over and take over, but she keeps one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. That's what this friend of mine does, Jessica. The older ones raise the younger ones. But she says things like that chill me to the bone because I only know her through a pregnancy group when I had Ethan. She'll say things like, she has a 1-year-old, right? She goes, she'll take a picture. The 1-year-old fell asleep like on the basement stairs where she has the playroom, they're carpeted stairs. He's asleep midway on the stairs. And she'll take a picture and she'll say, look at little, I'm not going to use his real name. Look at little Louie. Can you believe this? He fell asleep on the stairs. I was calling him. Again, this child is 1 year old. I was calling him and I thought he wasn't obeying me. And then I came over here and he fell asleep. And yeah, it's the way she says that, and her and her husband, like we were in this pregnancy group, and I'll never forget. She said something like, I swear to you, the kids were just a year old. She goes, we're talking about all the milestones, and she goes, oh, guess what? We've just started giving, let me see, I'm going to give her a different name. Llewellyn, this is what she said, short spankings. And I said to her, what do you mean? You mean like you tap her on the diaper or something? And she goes like this, no. And I was like freaking out. And so was a girlfriend of mine in Canada. And so was another one. We're like, what the heck is she talking about? And she goes, I said, what are you doing that for? And she goes, oh, well, for like straight out defiance. 1 year old, 12 months. Now, I don't mean like 18 months calling, 12 months. Straight out defiance? Like what? And she goes, oh, well, I got to think of a name for the husband. I could probably pull up the post. Well, Larry, the little 1 year old did something, right? And her husband, Larry, not his real name, took her up on his lap and said like, no, Llewellyn, no. And Llewellyn had a block, and she tossed it at the father. That was straight up defiance, and that required this short spanking, which I am sure, now that I know what they're doing, is 100% the Michael Pearl way. Okay? And then, guess this one. I guess a few of us were concerned and said some things, and you know what she said? I talked to Larry, and Larry said, I got to think of a name for her. Gloria. Gloria, you got to be careful talking online to people because, they don't always understand things the way we do. Okay? They don't always understand them. So that's what she told us. She goes, so I probably shouldn't, I should just probably skip that part because you girls don't seem like you're, that's your way. That's what she said. But she has 9 children now. No, 8 children, and she's pregnant again. And somebody said, how do you go out and they're so good at the restaurant when you're eating out? Because they're like little soldiers, okay? So she goes, oh, because we don't tolerate anything. And they know that. Once they act up, we take them outside. And I'm sure they know what happens outside. So what happened to Random Guy? Random Guy thinks I'm too upset. This topic gets me upset because these kids then go and they just repeat this. And they keep them homeschooled and they keep them only amongst themselves. And they are, like Cowgirl said, like cults. Yeah, they're very much like cults. And they don't go out anywhere but around themselves. And I'll never forget, one day, my friend in Canada, who's a normal parent, and we were exchanging pictures, and there was oh my gosh, there was the girl was only a wooden paddle on the wall, okay? And we both saw it. And she goes, Carolyn, we have to find out if she is hitting, what did I call the little girl? Llewellyn? Llewellyn with that paddle. And I said, I got to think of a name for her. Shirley, how are we going to do that? And she said, I think I can make something. I'll just say that her husband at the time, which would be Sergio. I'll just say Sergio sometimes brings home silly things like that and wants to hang it on the wall. Is that something like Larry got? And she said, oh, but I think at this time she was on to us, right? So she says, oh, yeah, Larry got that. He wanted to hang it up on the wall. They even built a school. So exactly. Well, that's what happens here, except they all homeschool. They all go to each other's houses. And I mean, I've seen it evolve. We thought she was normal when she was in the and now she barely doesn't really interact much with us because, and it doesn't tell us many things, but you can see, I mean, her kids are like soldiers. And she says things like, well, my mother only had 4 kids because that's all she could handle. And Larry's mother only had 3 kids because that was all she could handle. But she feels like a martyr that she has all these kids, but yet you see her mother saying that she's in the closet, but still nobody ever, like if it was my family, I'm telling you, my family would be straight out. They'd be like, this is ridiculous. How many kids are you going to have? You're going to have a nervous breakdown. You're going to die. I can't even imagine. I'm not kidding around. My brother I told you, my brother on the 3rd child, when I called him, he goes like this, don't you know how that happens? And people in the supermarket would say that to me at the 3rd child. One lady goes to me, and I hope after this one you're going to stop and take some time for yourself. You fully realize this is wrong. Yeah. I don't know, but it's like, everybody encourages this, and the one friend told me, because like she used to be her friend too, but like where she lives, and then she started going to a different church and started going in this quiver, and her sister does it too. They're all quivering, quiverful. They're quiverful. The other ones that are breaking out of that kind of cult are called no longer quivering. Look it up. No longer quivering. They're people that broke out of the cult. Yeah, I don't understand it too, Scooter. I think it's because they don't let them go to school. I think it's because they don't let them associate with anyone else. The boys, yeah. I can't even imagine. You know what she said? Oh my gosh, I'll tell you what she said to me once. You got to listen to this one. My daughter was in college, right? So we played jokes. So she had some guy she worked with at the radio station. Now, this was a joke, okay? Call me up to say, hey, Alexandra's mom, hey, I didn't give him a name. I should give him a name. I'm Thomas, and I've got some news for you. Something like, I know you didn't know I was going out with Alexandra, but you did it, and we're having a baby. Like, it was a joke like that, okay? I can't remember what it was. It was a joke. I knew it was a joke, right? I'm like, okay, you're very funny. So I just told it to them, and then everybody else was like, oh, that was funny. You know what she said to me? Do you know what she said to me? She goes, wow, I would not have taken that well, because number one, my daughter, I hope, will have the morality that I do. And if I ever got a call like that, I would be in tears. And I'm like, it was a joke. And she was just so I just felt like saying, it was crazy. They're way too serious, yeah. No, but she was trying to say, don't you know, High 69, all of their children are going to remain pure and chaste, and then they never have to worry about anything because the kids don't go out in the real world at all. And that's the whole thing. And even, yeah, it's like it's called quiverful, and you have as many arrows in your backpack as you can. I don't know. Leave it. An email, he said, with kitty pictures. Oh, you said, Mommy. Okay, I don't think any child should be struck. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you haven't heard about this stuff, it is true crime, because there are children that are killed in this. There's been many children that have been killed. I don't know, Margie. No, was it Margie who was Michelle? You said you'll see them in court when they're older? Yeah, but then it's like, did anybody look up the statistics for these like fundamentalists that stay in it? I want to look up that. That would be interesting to see. You have been deleting all your texts so mods do not have to see. Have to so upset at the cruelty. I have been deleting all my texts so mods do not have to. I don't know. I don't know what's the matter, Margie? Oh, okay, you think the mods are upset? Okay, I'll stop talking. Somebody's upset? My girls would tell me that the kids were wild when they snuck out. Oh, I don't think so. No, Mona. I don't know what Margie means. Margie, are you upset, Margie? What are these people you have over there that dress up like the early 1800s? The Amish? And the Mennonites, but the Mennonites are more progressive. On marriage, yes. But they conveniently do not speak about discipline. Not physical. Don't hold hands, yeah. Oh, you don't want to cuss? Okay. Oh, I see. I understand. I get it. Margie was saying that she's so upset by this topic that she can't help putting in some bad words, and then the mods have to delete it. So she's just been deleting her own text. Now we get it, Margie. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, but how did we even get on this? How did the conversation go here when I'm going to do Amato? I have no idea. How did we get here? I just like to see, like, it would be like the family circus. Like, it could be, they started here on Rosenbaum, then this person said this, and it went over here, and then someone said something over here, which triggered the conversation about the heart. We went on the heart-lung bypass machine, and then that brought us down to anesthesia, down again. Where did we go after the anesthesia? Went somewhere. The conversation went somewhere. I have no idea, Gina. And then let me see. How did we get from there? I don't know how we got, I can't remember how we got from the anesthesia. You learned more about this? Yeah, to that. But I'm going to think about it because it was, somebody said something about glue sticks, I think. Oh, I think we went into the crafts. Somebody asked, I think, about the crafts, and we talked about the craft pictures. Somebody said something maybe about a glue stick. Oh, we got on adoption. That's what it was, remember? And then people were like, can they give the baby back? That's where it was. That's how we got on the glue sticks. Are they real? Oh my gosh, yeah, so it goes crazy. I should just not even put a title on a live chat because you never know what's going on. Yeah, then we went with the adoptions that were disrupted, and then China having very high regulations, and the other countries really not surrendering. You know, the babies were not really surrendered. The babies were taken, so the adoptions were closed in those countries. Your ADD, forget about it, right? We don't even know how we got there. Okay. But yeah, so we went all the way here about mother what did I say her name was? Mother Jones. Mother Jones. I hope I didn't say Mother Goose. You're doing dishes, so you missed how we got on the subject. I don't even understand how we did that. That went completely around. And but that was really upsetting because I read about those trials. There was a woman, I think she was in Texas, and she murdered her adopted baby. And then there were like people that are like, well, it wasn't her fault. But no, if you read that book, it's like it just gets progressive, like hitting, like, oh, they did it again. Well, now you're going to hit them like 3 times with the plumbing supply. You love the diverse, rambling path of chat. You never know what you're going to get. Yeah, I know. I don't know what to do. Whisper. I'm not certain. Impressed by your ability to backtrack. Yeah, I try to, because I try to figure out how I got on a subject. Lacey Bayless, it's a blog, and she wrote about this, about the fundamentalists and addiction to, I think it was pregnancy. Look up that. There's a whole thing she had. And when I brought it to Facebook, I got a lot of people that were like, yeah. And then there were still some that were like, ramble on. But no, it just bothers me. You know, here's the thing, though. And this is going to sound insane. But I think, like, right, the smaller... Are you okay? The smaller diameter, like, say, okay, that if you like hit a kid with one of those, they tell you to get dowels. That's what they tell you too. Those little dowels that you use in crafts, right? They tell you to use those too. Okay, the smaller diameter. If you hit somebody with that, it can almost break the skin. Because it's such a narrow area, hitting, even if they have clothes on, it can break the skin. It's really dangerous, right? So they're telling you, like, the plumbing freaking supply line and these wooden dowels and the glue sticks to hit them with that. And the only experience I have with that, I will tell you, I don't know if I should use his real name. I was at my friend's house at the cul-de-sac, and we were going through some boxes, and we had this other jerky kid there, and I can only call him a jerky kid because when you find out what he did to me. So this jerky kid takes one of these archery arrows out of a box, right? And when I'm talking to my friend, he comes from behind me, and he took that thing, and he hit me so hard with it. I almost died, right? And I didn't want to say anything because I felt stupid. I was like, right, so I'm like, what? I think I just screamed his name, like, what is wrong with you? But I didn't want to cry or anything like that, right? So I'm like, that hurt so freaking bad. And I was like, are you kidding me? Right? So I'm just like, anytime someone tells me about that, all that I remember is that thing. And I'm saying if somebody hit me like 2-3 times with that, I think I would have like go out of my, it was horrible. I was like an hour later, I felt like searing pain from it. I still remember it till this day. I look at these things, right? That's great to hear. Welcome back. And then, hi, 69. The nuns used to flog us with those. Did they? And it must have hurt like crazy, right, Lacey? So that's the only thing I can think of. That has to be worse. I think that's worse than if you hit somebody like with a blunt, like a paddle or something, because it's a little thing. Oh my gosh, Sonny, right? And they cut deep, right? That's what I heard. I remember reading this book in high school called Black Boy, and the beatings that they outlined in there, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't understand, Debbie. That is like, I don't even understand how that's. I'm not on the phone. I'm talking to you guys. No, I don't know what's going on, Mona. Yes, let's talk about Amato. That's enough, child. Okay, so Angel, Callie, they want to know if you're still awake. Oh, I think I hear her. No, people just worry that something happened to you. All right, let me see here. Okay, so let's talk about Amato right now. Now here's my plan, okay? You could tell me what you want to do. I looked into this Amato case, and it's really interesting. At least I like this Amato case. So I'll give you a little synopsis. How many people are familiar with the Amato case, and how many aren't? Because then I'll tell you my what I want to do with it. Just put you're familiar with it, my full heart and hands, okay? You are Tinky. Hey, I didn't even see you, Tinky. No for Helen. Yes, familiar. I followed it. No, not me. Okay, enough not me's that I'll give you the synopsis. You got nothing on Amato? Okay. Let me give you a little cliff notes, and then I'll tell you. Okay. This guy's mother was named Margaret Amato. Two things about her: she loved her family, and she had a soft spot for neglected horses. So there was this old racehorse that used to end up in her yard all the time. So what she did is she took it in, she brought it down to a barn down I don't know how far away, it was some stables place, right? So she brought it down there, and she worked with this racehorse. And even when the racehorse threw her off, and she kept going back, and she just had the patience of a saint, and they said she was the sweetest woman around, right? And then 10 years later, when that horse who was named Lady died, she would still go to the stables, and she would brush the other horses, and she would talk to people. And there was a barn owner named Sherry Brabenek. And in January, she started to tell this Sherry that things were not going so well at home. Oh, it's a true story, Aletha. Yes, 100%. It was just, they just had the trial for it. And so one day she mentioned that the last few months have been really difficult because the youngest son, they had 3 sons, Grant, had stolen a lot of money from them. And just a few days later, it was found that the mother, who was 61, Margaret, the father, who was named Chad, 59, and the brother, who is Cody, 31, they were all shot in the head and killed. Okay? The only one that wasn't killed was another brother named, I believe he's Joshua, I think he's Josh. He didn't live in the house, and so he wasn't killed. Now I'm talking about this, everybody's talking about what their mother hit them with. Okay, so then let's see. How did this happen? Well, the prosecution says it was a downward spiral for Grant, right? Because Jason, okay. Grant, he worked he had a nursing job, but he was fired because he was stealing medication. Okay? When he was fired for stealing medication, that put him in a depressive episode, which isolated him. And he found himself a live cam girl in Bulgaria. So he found her on this adult site, and he wanted to give her the image that he was rich and successful, right? But he wasn't working anymore. So he started to steal money from his father and his brother. Right, yes, we're talking about the Amatos. And this, was causing problems. He ended up stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep this cam girl obsession going that he had. He was infatuated with this cam girl. And we're still talking about the lashes. So he had to have that image. He was stealing hundreds of thousands, and that led to a confrontation, right? And his father's like, look, you stop this with this cam girl, or you're out of here. And that's what the prosecution said why they were killed. Up to that time, Cody, they had even gone away. I think it was like they went to traveling together, him and his brother. You're listening? Keep going? Okay. And they had a really good times. A cam girl, Laura, what do they do? Who knows? Do they completely strip? Is it a private session? Who knows about the webcam girls without being too graphic? Do they completely? What goes on? Anybody have any? I don't know. Parents put up with a lot with Grant. They tried to help him, yes, but he stole so much from them, right? All depends. Okay. So yeah, how would you describe it to the person in the chat that doesn't know what a cam girl is? Mrs. Roger Rabbit says complete porno type stuff. We're all good here, Mommy. Carry on. Okay, someone didn't know. They do soft porn? Okay. Depends on what you pay for. All right, so let me, hold on, I gotta get my other stuff up here. Hang on. Okay, and I'm gonna show you some pictures. Now, you wanna see some pictures? I'll show you some pictures. Well, as we go along, let's see. This is, I've gotta get my glasses. This would be their family home at 212 Sultan Circle in Chilota, Florida. Is that it? Chilota, Florida. Okay, and this is where they were found murdered. And yeah, it's pretty, but this is the outside of the house, okay? All right, this is not going to be anything graphic right now, okay? And then I'm going to talk to you about it because I'm going to do some premieres on the Amato case because I just asked for all of the discovery files. There's lots of discovery on this, including lots of tapes, interviews, all of that stuff. So that's where I'm saying I'm going to plan to do some premieres. Maybe it'll be, I don't know, depending on the case, 2 premieres. In that case, I would be in the live chat, so we wouldn't have live chat every night. We'd have live chat every night. We wouldn't be live every night, depending on stuff. So it might be like more like when we did other cases. But anyway, let me show you this one now. That is the house. I don't like this thing right here in the front. I think what this is some kind of a, you think they would even have built a surround for that or something. That doesn't, what is that? That doesn't look good. And that looks like a hazard. Some people, you know what some people will do with something like this? Creative people, like it looks like a horse almost or something. They might like build something to make it look like a horse. And then this could be like a post that it's tied to or something. I don't know. All right. I'm getting crazy. So what happened was, this happened, this was, this was January of 2017, I believe it was. Anyway, so when they arrived at the house, they arrived there because co-workers reported that Cody, the brother that he murdered, did not show up for work, right? at the Orlando Regional Medical Center, but Cody's car was in the driveway. Nobody answered the door, nobody answered phone calls, and no one answered a loud air horn. The doors were all locked, so the deputy from Seminole County had to, he had to force his way inside a side door. Okay, when he went in, it was not a good scene. He found Chad Amato dead in the kitchen. He was shot in the head and wearing a holster with a handgun. That's the father. Chad is the father. Cody was found shot below the eye in a doorway between the home's gym and garage, still wearing his nursing scrubs. Another handgun and Cody Amato's work bag were lying feet away from his body. Margaret, his mother, was seated at her desk in her office and was likely shot first, according to investigators. Now, there is a pretty gory scene. I don't think I'm going to show it here. It's pretty gory. I think we'll skip that one. So, the next morning, Grant was found at a DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel near UCF, and he was taken in to the sheriff's office. Now, this is a part that they do have interrogation tapes of. This is why I want to go through this. You can tell me if you, when we get to this little synopsis of the case, if you think that's a good idea. If you're not interested in it at all, just say, no, I'm not interested in it at all. Too bad you got all that stuff. I don't get it. Okay. But it's interesting to me. Okay, so he was taken there where for hours he talked nonchalantly with investigators Daniel Anderson and Eva Marie Moltari about his life, hobbies, and issues the family had been dealing with for the past several months. And the reason I want to look at this part of it, okay, is because today I was talking to a few good friends about this, and I said, you know, he's crying like crazy in court. So I think it's helpful to analyze his behavior. How was he acting in this police interrogation when he's talking nonchalantly for hours? He wasn't upset. So yeah, because if you just see him in court, you don't really get the full picture. That's why I want to go through the stuff. But if you don't want to do it, let me know. I'm going to go back to the chat and see if anybody answered that before I even keep on. You're interested, Tamlin? Okay, you're interested? Okay. I just want to know. Okay, I saw two people. Okay. Interested, Margie. Okay. All right, let me go on with this because this will be like the synopsis, and then I'm going to go into each thing. Sunny's interested too. Okay, good. All right, hang on. Let me go back to where I was. Keep going, Jimmy says. Okay. I have more pictures coming. I'm going to show you a picture in a minute. So he's brought in there, and 3 hours in, he hadn't once asked what happened to his family, okay? That's when Moltari opened a folder with crime scene photos. She placed a picture of Cody's body in front of Amato. And she said, "Did you leave the house with your brother Cody looking like that?" So Grant Amato covers his face. Moltari pulls out 2 more photos. And she says, "Or did you leave the house with your father looking like that? Or your mother? Is that how you left your family?" And he just says, "No." And his voice starts to break a little. She says, "Who did this to your family?" Amato looked at the photo of his mother at the top of the stack, and then he covered part of his face again. "No, I didn't do any of this." That's what he said. Okay, now here's a picture of them when they were little. The parents and the kids here. Hold on, it's coming up. He's the littlest one. It's kind of scary when you see that, right? And then you think that he killed all but the one brother. So that's Margaret is the mom. She's holding Grant. Then you've got Jason, the one in front. He's the only one that survived. Cody is in the father's arms. And you've got Chad, the father, in the back. Okay? So this Grant claims his family was still alive the last time he saw them. Sounds familiar, right? The detectives told him Cody and Chad could not have shot each other. They asked who else could have killed his family. He told them, I don't know. I've been getting blamed for the last half a year for everything, and I've been trying to move forward into a positive direction, and then every day I'm reminded of all the trouble that I've caused. And then I keep being told the same thing over and over again. There's nothing I can do to change it. In the interview room the same day, Amato spoke briefly with his sole surviving brother, Jason, who did not live in the family home. Grant Amato again denied killing his family. And Jason said to him, I'm going to pray for you, brother, before walking out of the door, because I can't pray for Mom, Dad, or Cody anymore. Grant said that he and Cody were inseparable. They joined the Timber Creek High School weightlifting team together. They decided to go to nursing school, eventually to nurse anesthetist school together. Brothers planned on buying matching BMWs and living in their parents' home after Chad and Margaret Amato moved to a retirement home that they had bought in Tennessee. He'd take care of everything for me, Amato said. But stress in the family started to build in June 2018. That's like a year ago, okay? This was a quick trial and everything, but in Florida, so much discovery is released ahead of time. Grant Amato, who had failed out of an anesthesiology school, was suspended from his nursing job at Advent Health, Orlando, and arrested after he was accused of stealing and improperly administering, I can't speak tonight, medication to a patient. So now, jobless, like I told you, he falls into this depression. He soon met a webcam model named Sylvie, from Bulgaria. And he told detectives he used his father's and brother's money to pay to speak with her. He told his family he was spending the money to promote himself on Twitch. Okay? On Twitch. A popular live streaming website. So they think they're paying for Twitch, and he's speaking to Sylvie, a cam girl in Bulgaria. Amato spent about 4 hours every night, wow, it sounds like us here, watching Sylvie dance and model. He purchased 5,000 tokens at a time for $600, he explained. Her shows cost 90 tokens per minute to view. Eventually, he began sending Sylvie clothes and sex toys, which she would model for viewers, modeling them. He admitted to stealing about $200,000 from his family, and he conceded he may have made a mistake. Okay, this is a picture next. I'm going to put up another picture. Hold on. This is of him and his brother, the one that he murdered, when they were traveling to Japan. Okay, and Grant is on the right. He poses with his brother Cody during a trip to Japan in December. Okay, so by the beginning of December, Grant's situation seemed to be improving. The grand theft charge stemming from the hospital incident had been dropped, and Cody, and a friend took a long-planned trip to Japan. But when he returned on December 15th, Grant said his dad was overbearing because he was still upset about the theft and that Grant had not found a job. With him, it was every single day, hours a day. He'd come home from work, and then he would just talk to me about the same exact thing over and over and over and over again, Amato told Moltari and Anderson. Really? Maybe because he wanted you to get a job. After one argument with his father on December 19th, Amato walked out of the house. His family reported him missing, telling deputies he had been experiencing strong feelings of worthlessness. His mom said that she got a text from Grant saying he was really tired of everything and just going to handle it his own way. Grant had gone to the Apopka, is that how you pronounce that? Apopka? Home of his aunt, Donna Amato, who described Grant as skinny and lost-looking, saying he slept during the day and stayed up all night. That's what Gail says we do. She started noticing strange changes in her bank account and thought she had been hacked, but she later discovered that Grant had stolen her credit card information. Pictures of credit cards belonging to Grant Amato's grandmother, Gloria Amato, uncle, Troy Amato, and one of his cousins were found on his computer after the killings. Donna Amato said she received calls from the rest of the family who urged her not to press charges because Cody Amato promised to pay back any of his brother's fraudulent expenses. Chad Amato broke down during his phone call with his sister-in-law. The first time Donna Amato said she had heard him cry, that was the first time she had heard him cry in 27 years that she knew him. He said he had personally taken care of $150,000 worth of debt by remortgaging his house. He told me on the phone, "Yeah, I'm going to have to work a few more years than I thought I'd have to," Donna told detectives, "but it's okay. I'll do it for Grant. I don't want him to go to jail." Amato's family took shifts outside Donna Amato's house to prevent Grant from escaping. Early on December 2nd, they surprised him in her driveway and drove him to a voluntary rehabilitation clinic in South Florida. After he returned, January 5th, Amato's father sat him down at the California Pizza Kitchen, it's a good place to have a conversation, in Waterford Lakes and presented him with a list of handwritten rules if he wanted to remain in the home. This is going to go over well, not. By this point, Grant's brother Cody had paid $8,000 for Amato's attorney, $10,000 for the trip to Japan, and had committed to paying for Grant's $15,000 rehab stay. Chad Amato had let a fraudulent line of credit filed by Grant go through so it wouldn't be reported. Among the rules, Grant was to get a job during the day and stop spending his entire night online. His phone service would be terminated, and he needed to go to therapy. His family would no longer pay for his debts. This is critical, as Grant, through his past transgressions, had relied on the knowledge that the family would not report him and would cover him. A note written on the sheet of rules said, "Family relationship abuse, beyond tolerance. This is a promise. You better heed the warning. It's real." If Grant Amato reached out to Sylvie again, he would be kicked out of the house. The second to the last line had been scratched out. It said, "You choose a stranger, physically non-existent over family." Despite the ultimatum, Grant continued speaking with Sylvie, and he told this to detectives using his mother's phone with her permission to message her on Twitter. Chad found out on January 24th. He claimed his father grabbed him by the shirt, told him to pack up his things and leave. Poor baby. Initially, Amato told detectives it took a few hours for him to pack his things. He claimed he left about 9:30 p.m. and met Cody outside the neighborhood to tell him what had just happened. But Grant later admitted he lied. He left closer to midnight and his brother was home. He claimed he spent the night in the parking lot of a nearby Publix before driving to a job interview off Lee Vista Road. In Grant's car, a crime scene analysis found a handwritten note that appeared to have been written from Cody's perspective. Hold on, I'll show you the picture of the note. I can't see the chat, so I hope everybody's following along. I'm still here. I'm just getting the picture of the note. Okay, maybe see. I'll put this up a little bigger because you probably can't see that, maybe. Okay. So it said, "Grant, I'll take care of all your problems. I just need you back. I can't live without you, brother. I said I'd take care of all your problems at the house, and I have. No one will bother you again regarding this. Just please come home. I can't do this again. I don't know what that one word over there is, and they don't have it let me see. They don't have the translation for the bottom. If you think, I would say it's going to be, if you think I'm part of the problem here, then I've really lost you, and I can't take that loss after everything. Okay, that's what that says. And then Grant admitted to a detective that he had written the letter, saying he was jotting down his recollection of the last conversation he had with his brother. He couldn't explain why it was written in the first person from Cody's point of view. Grant Amato's relatives told detectives they couldn't understand why he would have killed his brother. Cody would have spent his last dollar to save him, his Aunt Donna told investigators. However, authorities had suggested that they suspected Grant sought to implicate his brother in the killings, something that the Sheriff Bob Keeling called a reasonable assumption. Two of Grant's friends also accused him of lying during a recent hearing in order to shift the focus from himself and onto his brother Cody. Their grandmother, Gloria, laid out her opinion bluntly. "That kid did it," she said. "Grant killed them. Get rid of these people. I will be free." Now, let's see. I have another picture for you. Hang on. Okay, this is his mother, Margaret, as she rides that racehorse I told you about, right? In an undated photo. She saved that racehorse from neglect when it went into her yard. And okay, a friend, Jackie Serafin, said she drove by the Amato home a few weeks after the killings. She looked toward the window of the office where Margaret was found and waved goodbye one last time. She had a strong sense of righteousness for those who couldn't do anything for themselves, said Jewel Tybin, their neighbor. When a good person leaves this earth too soon, you just have to question why. The world needs more good people. Shelley Brebenak, that's the one from the stables, the owner of the Miracle Lane stables where Margaret Amato spent much of her time, has a plaque that was made in her honor. And it says, "To our born sister Margaret and her lady, thank you for your love and friendship. We will ride with you in our hearts forever. She'll always be with us out here," Brebenak said. "She's part of our barn and always will be." Okay, so that is the synopsis of the setup of the trial. And hold on, let me get this down. Okay, and let me get back to chat. Hang on. So, was he on methamphetamines? I don't know yet what he was on, Robbie, but I am going to dive into this case. If you think you want to, now that you've heard it, and I need, because it's no point in me diving into this case with you guys if you don't want to dive into it with me. Should we dive into this case or not? Crickets. I'd like to have a cricket sound effect. Yes, you want to do that? Okay. All right, good. So that will, okay, then we've got dive into it. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting all the stuff that I can get on it. Okay, so, and we'll look into it because I think his interrogations will be interesting to look at and analyze. I think there'll be a lot of analysis, and we like analysis, let's face it. Sonny, he was just sentenced, but we know he'll probably appeal, right? And I think it'll be an interesting case just to analyze his behavior during that interrogation. There's some weird, There's look. I mean, we went into the Peterson case, Michael, and there were some weird things in there. It was the Michael. Profilol, wasn't it? I thought it was tripta. Is it profilol? Profilol. Having a meth problem in the past, the way he was behaving sounds like meth. We'll see, Ravi, maybe. Right, he was just found guilty, right? But there's a lot to this case, and I think it was a really good case to study and to analyze him, because like I saw him today crying. And I was saying like, well, how was he acting during the interview? Because that always helps you put in propofol. Aletha, thank you. So that was the other thing, and I don't know, what else did I have for you? That was the direction. So what I want to do on that one is do some more premieres like we did with when we handled other cases. Just talking about like the interviews and stuff. Here. Wow. Here. I'm going to get everything I can on the case. The interview audio is hard to listen to. There's a lot of stuff on this case. A lot of it. Yes, there's court coverage. You can see that on the crime. You want to see the court coverage? You can see it on the, what do you call it? The law and crime? Yeah, that you want to see, yeah. You feel good when you can come on here and talk to everyone you know? Where everybody knows your name, right? Hi, 69? We've been missing you. I've been thinking about you the other day. Like, and who else was I thinking about? I was thinking about Vegas Donna, and we found her. That was a good reunion. And Julie A., I found her. She was in the comments. I found her in the comments. She just haven't been able to catch a live, but she's listening to them. And then I found somebody else we lost. I can't remember who it was. Premieres. Yay, premieres. Court TV has a better audio? Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about that one, Diane, because I think I'm going to be sent all that. So hopefully it'll be... But if they want to listen to the trial, you can do it on Law and Crime and stuff. And Manyville Girl, hi, Manyville Girl, how you doing? Can somebody... Oh, Publix? It's a grocery store. They're very prevalent in Florida, and I think they're in... Are they in Georgia, too? Like, they're in the South, right? I know they're definitely in Florida. The story is so different. Yeah. I didn't hear of it, until last night. And as soon as I heard when somebody said what it was, I'm like, I am looking into that. Thanks, Laura. We knew what you meant, Cowgirl. Yeah, propofol. Can you email me photos of the crime scene you're dying to see? Okay, I have one like right now, but yeah, send me, shoot me an email, because I forget things easily. Yeah, I know, Diane, I am going to look into that one too, but then when somebody mentioned this one last night, I was freaking out. I am going to look into that one too. Yeah, Florida could have its share of stuff. Oops, not oops. The case sounds interesting. Yeah, I really want to take a dive into it. I like doing things like that, like listening to the interrogations, and I don't know, I just like doing an analysis of it. I think you guys like it too, so, but there just wasn't a case that just pulled me, like that had as much as this has a lot. You'll delve into the Amato case. Okay, good. I think that first interview where he spoke for hours and hours and didn't even ask where his family was. Hey, Cece. It's okay, Sonny. There are a few in various articles, but I think I will be getting much more, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. Analysis times, like, yeah, I like that because it's like, I like to check, just check facts, but also there's so many things. Like I just said to someone today, I was reading an email, and you know that thing with Chris Watts where you know what he did because you just take it, you just reverse it, and it's what he did. When he says what he didn't do, he tells you what he did. This person in this email, everything she said she didn't do, you just reversed it around and she did it. And I can see patterns like that in people. It's amazing. It's like right there. I was just telling Jimmy today, I'm like, look, just reverse it. Use the Chris Watts rule. Reverse it. I thought since the parents contacted the Bulgarian, they sent someone to remedy. Colorado and Florida are not good places to live right now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the altitude in Colorado. What could you blame it on in Florida? What could you blame it on in Florida? Humidity? Maybe. If you found a real correlation where it was the most humid, I don't know. You're not doing well, Miniville? Oh no. Well, I'll keep you in my prayers, Miniville. I'm sorry to hear that. Reverse it, right? Yeah. The trial was short and the jury came back quick. Yeah, but there's there's so many files and everything with this case. There's a lot to dive into. The large bugs. Well, I don't know if you could call it cold. I mean, it's never really that cold down there. It's not, yeah, but I know what you mean. You're not having the summer humidity. Gotcha. The guy took his father's dead finger and accessed his bank account, transferred. Ugh. See what I mean? Humidity makes you crazy. I kept trying to say that, but it would not print. Oh, no, Linda. Sometimes if you put too many characters, it will not let you put them in. If you have 200, you got to look at that little thing on the bottom. They have Publix in Georgia too. What about South Carolina? Do they have them in South Carolina? Okay, I know 100% this Grant guy was on methamphetamines. Who spends 2 on a woman? Well, she was, yeah, a cam girl. I guess they were saying she was, Robbie, she was dancing and modeling things that he was sending, like sex toys and clothing. She was a model, Robbie. Thank you for all you do. Your time and efforts are appreciated. Oh, you're welcome, lovies. How can he be guilty of murder in the civil case? Behavior of narcissist rule of thumb. They project everything they're doing. Right. They will tell you their truth if you're paying attention. Right. Everything they say someone else is doing is everything that they are doing. Exactly right. Exactly right. And everything they say, you can hear as things that they were told over and over and over again. Meth is the #1 sex drug for men, really? So glad I found this channel. I thought I was the only weird one that is addicted to true crimes. I hate the gory part. Yeah, I like more the analysis part of it than the gory part of it. But just to see these people, and I think the more you analyze them, I know what I did with going over Watts, like it just helped me see something else. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is Chris Watts. And I swear to you, I said that earlier. I said to Jimmy, I said, read this email. Just reverse it. It's everything that they've done. Yeah, me too, Lisa H. It's very interesting. There's other things that I like to know, like why does here's some things. Why does a person lie about something that they know, right? Like say someone says to you, it's like you would think a little kid would do it, right? It's like they say it like a little kid sitting there with a crayon, but not even that, because they could say, well, somebody could have swooped in, drew on the wall, and handed it back to the little kid. But let's say somebody lied, I mean, the chances are slim, but let's say something that, 100% that you can prove. So why would someone lie about something when they know there's proof to prove otherwise, and in black and white? But there are people that do that, and I don't know why. That I have to analyze that. Like, are they delusional? Did they convince themselves of their own lie? Are they mentally ill? What is it? There's so many instances of that. I mean, Chris Watts, of course, did it. Something that could just be proven. Like, who did you go to that game with? We know who you went to the freaking game with. Casey Anthony. But just a stupid thing like, oh, yes, this happened. No, I didn't make that call. Oh, really? Your phone record show, just such, I didn't, that wasn't for, it's just crazy. They are delusional and believe their own lies. You think so, Laura? Or they just want you, or they think they're smarter than you, and they think if they tell you something, you're going to believe it. You become so narcissist savvy. Yeah, I think we all have, and I think it all helps us. I actually could see what was going to happen way before it did. I just don't understand that's one thing I just can't figure out. In their head, it's not a lie. They're so sick. They say it so many times they believe it. See, I'm not so sure. Because there's some things like, they have to know they're lying. I think it's more that they think they're smarter than everyone, and they're going to convince anybody of anything because they're such a truth teller, right? They're such a truth teller that you're going to believe them. You're not even going to check up on it. Narcissists lie for no reason, even when the truth would serve them better. Might lie out of fear. They tell the cops. But it's even stupid things. That's what I'm saying. It's even some of the most simple things they lie about. They forget their lies also. Truth teller when everything they say is a lie. Right? If somebody has to keep telling you, I'm not lying. Honest. This is the honest truth. Like, right? Would Chris say, this is the honest truth all the time, I'm not lying? If someone has to keep telling you that, keep telling you they're loyal, it's usually because they're not. Cowgirl, I don't know. I think she might have fallen asleep. I don't know. They think they are above everybody else. Maybe she might just be listening from the box. The narcissist saying if their mouth is moving, they are lying, right? Yeah. By the way, we have a Publix in South Carolina. I thought you did have them in South Carolina. Their brains are wired different to normal people. You have just condemned all of the Welsh. They know it's lip service and it means nothing. But I was talking about this with a friend, okay? I had a contractor. We were talking about somebody. I said, I don't know who somebody reminds me of. And I said, oh my gosh, it's the contractor. Listen, this contractor I had, and this is exactly, we were talking about something else. And I said, this is exactly what I asked. I said, why would someone lie when you have, the proof, whatever it is? Let's say the person said, I took $500 out of the bank, and you have the bank statement and it's $1,000, right? They lie. You have it right there. Really? What does this say? $1,000. Okay. So I asked her, then I said, who does this remind me of? It reminds me of my contractor, the one I had to take to court. Listen, he and his own brother told me, because his brother took over. He said, he is such, I don't even know if he used the word narcissist, but he's definitely a narcissist. He will never, he lies like crazy. He's like a pathological liar, he said, but he will never admit he lied, even if you come right at him with everything, all the proof. He will still give you the most insane thing to not admit it, to not admit at all that he lied. So I said, oh my gosh. One time I came back, Jimmy, he was staining molding for me. And I told him I wanted him to put the wood conditioner on it. And I had a brand new can. Okay, when you get a brand new can of something, you can tell if the can is open or the can is not. It's not rocket science, right? Because even when you try to do it as gingerly as possible, there's a little thing when you open it with the screwdriver, the paint thingy, and then you're still going to have a little of the stain around there, right? All that stuff, right? I come home. He's got all of the moldings out there, and I had been doing them. I didn't mind doing them, okay? But he just wanted money, because they always want money. I think he was an addict. And so he's trying to do this so like he could have stuff done. Meanwhile, I'm really pissed because I wanted to make sure that this was done right. So I'm like, I'm going to give him a different name. Eduardo, did you... And this guy's Italian, so don't even think like I'm trying to say like, no, yeah, don't even, okay? I'm just pick the name Eduardo, okay? Eduardo, did you put the conditioner on that wood? And he looks me straight in the eyes and he goes, yeah, I did. So I go around to the can. I let him see that I'm looking right at the can. I pick the can up. I say, wow, Eduardo, it doesn't look like this has even been opened. It doesn't look like it's even been used. No, I used it. I'm like, you're kidding me. No, I used it. So I went inside. I said to Jimmy, this guy is something else. He's lying to me right there and telling me that he used it. And he continued to do that. Then he would go away, right? He wouldn't come back like for a couple of days. You call him up, you're calling the wife, you're calling him, He goes something like this. Hey, what's going on? And now meanwhile, he doesn't know that his brother told us, I saw him, Eduardo, over at my dad's shop yesterday. He's swindling you guys, okay? His own brother was against him. He said, this is why I didn't want to work with him again, because he's back to his same crap. Every time he tells me to trust him and start working with him again, he screws me over. I'm not doing it anymore. So his brother came on and did the work for us, and we had to take the other guy to court, and we won. But here's what he says. Listen to this. He calls us back 3 days later. After I went to the hospital, thought I was having a heart attack, but it was a panic attack because this contractor, I don't know if you saw the video that I posted in the community page, because somebody wanted to see the house. You'll see this house when it was just a shell down here, okay? That was at this time. That's how he... Okay, so I had like almost a nervous breakdown, I guess it was. I know it was a panic attack, they said. Anyway, so I was really pissed off because he calls us up and he goes, hey, I was in the hospital. No, he says, I'm still in the hospital with blood poisoning. Now, where we live, there's only 2 hospitals. It's not hard. So I said, I don't believe him at all. He wasn't in the hospital. He's not in the hospital. So I said to Jimmy, I'm going to call up as if I'm going to visit him. So I asked, is Eduardo there? I want to bring him some flowers. Can you transfer me to Eduardo's room? Sorry, there's no one here. Okay. Just to be sure, I called the other hospital. So I said to him, look, because I think if I talked to him honestly, he would admit that. I said, look, Eduardo, I don't care where you were. Don't insult my intelligence by telling you were in the hospital, because you weren't in the hospital. But you know who was in the hospital? I was in the hospital, Eduardo, because you couldn't give us the courtesy of a telephone call to tell us you were coming back after we gave you that large deposit. So he goes, I was in the hospital. I'm still in the hospital. I have blood poisoning, Carolyn. And I'm like, this guy's not going to stop, right? He couldn't stop lying. They're energy vampires, right? So I said, look, this is crazy. I'm going to call your wife, because his wife is a nurse at this hospital. Well, I found out later on that I think the brother said that the wife, let's say there were issues there, okay? She ended up, I haven't checked lately. She kicked his butt later on, but she had her own issues. It was a mess kind of thing. So he just still lying to me. So I finally said, look, if you're telling me the truth, because Jimmy said to him, you've got one chance. We didn't even want to give him one chance, but he had a large amount of money. His brother was going to take over the job. He said he was going to come. He didn't come the next Wednesday. I said, look, if you were in the hospital, you bring me a piece of your hospital bracelet. Show me the top of your, discharge notice. You know what he says? I can't show you that. HIPAA laws. I said, you're not showing me anything except that you were a patient there. If you were there, why wouldn't you show it to me? Of course he wouldn't show it to me because he wasn't a patient there. He's lying. And that's what I mean about these liars. They will just, instead of just coming clean, right? And saying, like, I really screwed up. I wasn't there. I had a really hard time. He continued to lie even though he knew he was lying. And he knew that I caught him. You live with one, and you might even be willing to call in and talk about it. Really? You want to do that now? It's crazy. I don't get it. And I'm like, why can't you just say, look, I'm an F-up. Give me another chance. I have problems. I would have accepted that a whole lot more than him continuing to lie to my face. Your husband is a detective. They always said they think they are smarter than the cops. They lie because they can. But it always trips them up. You've had horrible workers that never showed up. And then if they did, they would be 3 hours. Yeah. Oh, trust me, right? Oh, he worked us really good. He was a master manipulator. Before this, like to get this job, he started like doing things all out of his way. He even told us, oh, I'll come and help you guys straighten out some things in the garage just because I'm your friend, I'm not even going to try. I just want to do it because I'm your friend. They want to be so helpful. Do they still, I don't, does it really make a difference, Diana? I don't know. Community page of what? Yeah, that if you want to see the video of my house, of this house, so you see that I don't have a fake kitchen, you go onto that video, then from there you can go to the playlist. You'll see this whole thing get built. You'll see it built up. That phase is called love bombing. Yeah, he totally did that. Because when he came on, I said to Jimmy, oh my gosh, we should have because we got screwed by the other contract. I said, we should have had this guy first. He would have been so much better. Oh my gosh, he's so good. I'm recommending him to everybody, right? Oh, we've got the greatest guy. Unbelievable. said he would stay. Listen to this one. You want to hear a nightmare? Listen to this one. I should have known this. Oh my gosh. When he did this backsplash behind me, right? He was going to South Carolina with his family, Myrtle Beach. His wife was a registered nurse. I know her salary was truly what he said it was, around $90,000 a year. Because, why do I know her salary? Thank goodness he put her on the name of the construction company because he didn't have a pot to pee in, okay? And she had all the money. And so they garnished her wages when we won the lawsuit. So I know exactly what she made because you get a certain percentage every month. So they apparently, though, listen to this one. She's making $90,000 a year. He's doing the backsplash. She's trying to finish the backsplash. That's why we had to do that, the thing above the stove. That's not the original one. I can show you the original one. I think it's on my Instagram. Okay? It's the one that he freaking stayed here till almost 1 a.m. And then, listen to this one. Drove down, had to drive home. He said his wife hadn't packed for him, right? Packed. And they both drove 2 different cars down to Myrtle Beach without sleeping. 2 guesses. And I'm right, so 2 guesses what's keeping them up. And I can tell you I know, okay? So at that point, when he was here, I said, what did I call him, Eduardo? Eduardo, how are you going to drive down to Myrtle Beach? It's almost 1 a.m. And he goes, oh, it's no problem. I'm good like that. I'll just get some coffee. I said, oh, I could say that too. I'm good like that. And then I get on the road and then I'm like falling asleep, smacking my face. I can't do it. He goes, no, I'm going to drive straight through. I'm like, okay, this is incredible, right? So he says he's going to drive straight through. So I said to Jimmy, they're not going to do it. Listen to this one. He goes to me, you think if I get this backsplash done, you can give me the balance on it, and then you can give me the balance on this? So he was trying to get stuff done to get money, okay? But watch this. I'm not stupid. His wife, listen to this one, they lived an hour away from our house. And she was, remember, the whole family's going with her, the in-laws, with her parents too, down in Myrtle Beach. She had a pack. He says to me, do you think you could give me cash? I said, cash? Nick, I don't have that around the house. Sorry, okay? I can give you my check. Yeah, I kind of need, my wife needs cash. And you would hear them screaming at each other in the driveway, okay? And he would tell. So then I said, your wife needs cash? Yeah, she needs cash. She went to the other guy that I was working for cash, and he wouldn't give her anything. And I'm thinking, like, why does this nurse that makes $90,000 a year need cash from her husband like this before she goes on a trip? And he said she was going to come an hour out of the way to get the cash. So you know what I did? Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I can get you a few hundred in cash. I'll call my sons who own a restaurant. They have a lot of cash. And I'll give them a check of mine to cash. And that, so one of my sons comes flying up here with the cash, right? Then the guy is still nice as punch now. He's telling my son all this stuff. He used to have dinner with us here. He used to bring his son that was Ethan's age. They used to play on the trampoline. The son was a great kid. They used to leave that kid home alone. I said, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, I just tell him, remember this was the guy I told he wouldn't allow his son to eat anything. He could drink water because he was paranoid of choking. I found his ex-wife, who was never really his wife. She told me so much stuff about this guy. You can't even believe it. But anyway, she said, I was so lucky that he put the current wife on the bill. And this wife came up to pick up like $300 in cash. Why do you think that? Why did she need $300 in cash? Why couldn't she just wait to put the check in the bank the next day? It'll go right on your debit card. She had her parents with her. I'm sure they had money for gas. Cash to get something. I don't even think it was meth. I think it was something that keeps you up. But anyway, I don't know. Does meth keep you up? Meth keeps you up, but I think it was something other than meth. Just by something else he said to me. So he, you know what he said to me once? Jimmy has ADD? I said, yeah. He take anything for it? No. No, I tell him to make lists. You should really get him to the doctor and get him on something. I said, yeah, he doesn't want to take anything like that. No, you really should go to get him. You should take him. I think it'd do him a world of good. But I'm thinking, like, why do you want him on something? Right? Okay. I'm telling you. So he drives down. We call him the next day because he's our friend. At this time, he's our good friend, okay? I told you, the kids are playing. Everything is great. He's never missed a day of work. He stayed extra long to do the backsplash. We didn't like what he did behind the stove, so we took it down, and Jimmy and I sketched exactly what we want, and Jimmy cut all the tiles for him while he was away. He calls us from vacation. He says, he's looking on my Instagram. He used to like on my Instagram, okay? He goes, there's something I don't like. You fell into that trap? Yep. I could do a whole thing on this contractor. He's calling me from his vacation. He's telling me about his in-laws. He's telling Jimmy and I about his in-laws. He's our best friend, remember? He's not just our contractor. He's our best good friend. They know about all the drugs. They recommended Adderall. That's exactly what they recommended. So he's telling us, oh, I drove down here the whole way, and now I'm having some girly drinks with my wife in the chaise lounges, and my in-laws got us a cabana, but I'm having a fight with my mother-in-law because she's doing this, and he's going on and on about everything, right? But he's saying, I don't like the backsplash thing. And I said, you know what? I don't like it either. And he goes, good. I said, but Jimmy and I sketched something out, so when you come back, you'll do it. He came back. He did do it with us, okay? That he did. Then he started to disappear. That's when all of this happened. He was supposed to put all the floors in upstairs. He did our bedroom floor. He did it with the wrong size nails. You know him since you was a little boy? Yo, that happens too. I've get the, I know. Especially up here and I bet where you are too, right? Oh, it's so-and-so's brother. Yo, he couldn't screw us over. No. So by the time we found out, like, he royally messed up the bedroom, he brings his brother to work with him. Now he's telling me, like, his brother, he's like, do you like so-and-so? I got to call him, like, Louis. Louis, and I'm thinking, like, yeah, Louis is 100% better than you. He tells me my brother's never done drugs in his life. My brother's never done this. Well, his brother was a good guy. His brother is the one that finished everything, okay? So he used too small. You don't even, let's not even, the judge, when I went in front of the judge said to me, if I could give you more money, I would. You don't even have to finish telling me the story. Don't show me any more pictures. If I could give you more money, I would. So, okay, Sonny Bunny, that's what he told me. So anyway, he leaves, and where was I going with the story? So yeah, so I had all that crap with so if you look at my house, you'll see that I went through so many contractors in here. You won't be fooled again? Yeah, I hope not, Lisa, because they can fool you. So he told us he was his friend. Yeah, that's how I realized that's exactly how some people come into your life. They're your friend, they're your buddy, they're going to do extra stuff for you. They care so much about you, right? I'm going to look out for you. I got your back. That's exactly what he was going to do. He's going to come over on his weekend out of the goodness of his heart and help us do stuff like moving some stuff out of the garage. And just because he's our friend, you know. Exactly. And then what does he want? He wants a huge deposit on the floors upstairs. And I said to Jimmy, at that time I was typing some blog articles, and Jimmy reminds me of our son Michael, okay? Because he'll do this. Like, he'll come when you're so busy and ask you something so that you just are like, yeah, okay, all right. Jimmy does the same thing. So he's like, he wants this much in a deposit. I'm like, no way. I trust him. This is Jimmy's. I trust him. I said, that's a lot. He look how much he's done for us. And you said yourself, but Jimmy said to me, like when he said, I'll do this as your friend, right? He goes, oh yeah. And I said, that was kind of rude. And he goes, I don't know. I just don't trust the guy. Well, then I don't trust him. And then he's like trusting him. So Jimmy gives him this huge deposit. We never saw him again. That's when he had the blood poisoning. That's when he had this. That's when he had that. And everybody's worried about the box. And so, glad I don't know. It was just nuts. His brother took over, and then like big problems happened. I called somebody else he was working for. She told me the same thing. She had him down pat. He did the same freaking thing to her. I called the ex-wife, right? Story, yeah. So, don't worry about dog. Worry. The dog? What dog? So yeah, that was it. I mean, and I could see so much in that guy. He was 100% a narcissist. It wasn't even a druggie. He was a narcissist too, Lexi. A big narcissist. He did all those typical behaviors. And then he would lie. And then he would say things that weren't, he tried to tell me something that I'm like, are you kidding me? Right? He told me something like, well, almost like tried to, I don't even know how he tried to do it. Like something about if I didn't take him back, there was a threat there. I was like, I told his brother, I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And Jimmy's like, yeah, threaten us. Go ahead. You threaten me. And meanwhile, then he loses everything. His own father came to his house to repossess the car that he gave him and the motorcycle. His own father. Okay? Well, that's my dog. The dog is heavy breathing. So anyway, yeah, so studying, this brings us back to why I like studying those things. Because I studied Chris Watts so much, it makes it that you can just see these patterns. And that's why you have to study people's patterns. Not just, their patterns will tell you who they are. They repeat the same patterns over and over again. Yeah, oh yeah, with his father. Yep. And his father was one, he was like an enabler, his brother said. Everybody loves her on your favorite show. So yeah, I mean, that you can just see things. I saw it today. I looked at some emails that I hardly would read because they were too mind-boggling to read. It was too hard to read them. And you should have seen me with Jimmy. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is everything here. We search for patterns way too late, exactly. But we get better and better at it. I would have been very good had I read all these emails that came to me, but I just couldn't read them. They were too crazy. In The Killer Across the Table, they talk about this behavior. Yeah, and I have that book right here. Absolutely, Margie. You've always liked older people volunteering. You hung out with grandparents who were older than most. Who were older than most, yeah. So yeah, that's why I want to dive deeply into that case. Same patterns, true reading people, yes. So that's why, so if someone says, because someone's always going to say, well, why are we looking at this? He was already through a trial. Yes, he may appeal, but you can learn a lot of things by looking at those. Oh, don't tell me it's almost 5 a.m. The last time I looked at oh my goodness. Okay, Gina, we better go, especially if I'm going to take a deep dive into this, if I want to take a deep dive. Aussie slang, you put a note on the door. Oh, yeah, forget the dog, beware the owner, yeah. It's the patterns, yes, Margie. So I think, yeah, if you guys want to do that, I mean, it's not like every night we'll do it, but I'd like to do maybe, I don't want to say too much and not do it, at least 1 or 2 premieres a week until we get through some of that stuff. All right. Yeah, we're going to go too. It's 2:56. It's 4:56 here. And I have to get up. I have to be at the bank by 9 a.m. tomorrow to get something notarized. So, all right, I better go so I'm not a lunatic at the bank. Human behavior is very interesting. So good. Everybody wants to do that, we'll do that. That's the direction. Let me know in the comments any other interesting cases that you think have a lot of information and we can take a deep dive into those. All right, everybody have a good one. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to everyone for showing up. Thank you to Angel Callie for calling in. Good night, Angel. I think you fell asleep, but it's okay. You're in good company. You can fall asleep in front of us. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. You don't know how you do it. You got to do it, right? All right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much again, Linda. Thanks, everybody.